Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where or when in the world you are. We have people tuning in literally from around the globe. So on behalf of myself and the Tachyon staff, we want to welcome you to the Filecoin Launchpad Accelerator Demo Day. I'm Gabriel, I'm the Managing Director of Tachyon, and myself and the Tachyon staff will be your host for the day. All right, so before we get started, I'm going to create a little context and framing for today's event. Then I'll quickly walk you through today's schedule so you know exactly what to expect. Let's get started. All right, so for those of you unfamiliar with Tachyon, let me start by telling you a little bit about what we do. Tachyon is part of the consensus mesh, and we've collectively, at this stage, incubated and invested in more than 100 projects, including some of the key pillars of the Ethereum ecosystem. So these are companies like Infra, MetaMask, 3box, Pegasus, Truffle, Gitcoin, and so many more. But as you can see from these concentric circles on my screen, there's a lot of different ways that the consensus mesh supports the entire Web3 ecosystem, whether that be companies that have spun out, are supporting of and investing in DAOs, our alumni network, our partner investor network, our friends and partners over at Ethereal Ventures. There are just so many different ways that we try to help support the Web3 ecosystem. Regarding Tachyon now, since 2017, Tachyon, which is the accelerator part of our business that supports the most ambitious and early stage Web3 founders, we've launched 5 cohorts. We've got over 75 active alumni companies, and we've had the pleasure of working with just some phenomenal Web3 startups, as you can see on my screen here. Companies such as Nuo, or Idle, or Transact, or Outlet, or PieDAO, or Parcel, Multisafe, Mile, Secured Finance, just so many amazing entrepreneurs and founders that we help support in the early stages of their company and their business. The way that we support founders through the accelerator is twice a year, we bring together the most ambitious Web3 founders for an intense 12-week sprint to hone their value proposition, test their assumptions with real customers, and prepare for the next phase of investment and growth. We do that through a number of different levers. So first, we provide founders with seed capital so that they can work on their startup full-time. We provide them one-on-one mentorship with ourselves, as well as our vast global network of Web3 builders, entrepreneurs, investors. We put our founders through weekly programming to help their startup move rapidly through the product maze on their path to becoming a high-growth, venture-backable, if they choose, business. And then the program culminates in a day just like today, which is their demo day. In terms of the power of the Tachyon network, we continue to build long-term value for our founders because of the Tachyon network, which consists of not only previous successful alumni, but our growing roster of mentors and advisors and Web3 builders, innovators, and investors. Every check that we write into a company becomes more and more valuable because of the success of our previous alumni who come back and help our founders. They help them with fundraising, with business development opportunities, with making introductions to key partners in our ecosystem. And our mentors and advisors are some of the industry leaders in Web3 that help open the doors for our founders. We're constantly looking to leverage synergies across the entire Tachyon network to help our founders accelerate their companies. You'll hear a little bit more about that later on today. Okay, so these are some of the faces behind Tachyon and the people who have been working their faces off to support our founders. Tachyon was built by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. That's really important. Take myself, for example. I'm a previous 3-time founder, 2-time entrepreneur, where I went in-house as EIR, built a couple of companies. I've built a wide spectrum of different businesses. I've had the opportunity to build and scale companies up to hundreds of millions of MAUs in Web2. And I built companies that just weren't venture backable, but ended up being $10 million run rate businesses. At this stage of my career, though, I have mentored and advised, more than 60, 70 Web3 founders, many of whom have gone on to successfully raise and or exit, whether that be through traditional venture capital, or in many cases, a number of our founders have used Web3 native innovative structures and funding mechanisms like DAOs or token launches. But more importantly, having been a founder multiple times, like the rest of the Tachyon team, we help early stage founders in that crucial 0 to 1 stage figure out problem solution and problem market fit. Our advice is not theoretical or something that we read in a blog somewhere or something like that. Our advice comes from having been in the trenches as founders, building companies. And we don't give founders any advice that we don't take ourselves. In fact, we're still in the trenches as builders of Tachyon. Our mission is to help transform engineers into entrepreneurs. And there are a couple of nuances when building a Web3 startup to getting problem market fit. So let's talk about that. I think most people in or around the startup world are familiar with what's known as problem market fit. Problem market fit is simply when the right team on a high value pain point focuses on a high value pain point in a growing market with a unique advantage within their solution and a specific target identified. That's product market fit. Product market fit and finding it is kind of the holy grail for startups. And so even though we're building in Web3, we don't throw on Tachyon, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We teach our founders to take the best parts of Web2 startup building, the principles, the strategies, the tactics, but then layer in some of those unfair competitive advantages that are inherent in building in Web3, namely composability and community. These are key differentiating factors for building a startup in Web3 versus Web2. So let's talk about them a little bit. Composability is just thinking through how your company or how your product fits within the Lego stack, and becoming a composable piece of the stack. Most companies, especially in Web 2, are concerned with value capture a little too early, in my opinion. We help our founders think through their product and how they can become a piece of the puzzle, the Web3 puzzle. How they think about being open source and their interoperability, their portability, remaining permissionless. And so, that's the composability part. The community part in Web3 is, I think, one of the key unfair competitive advantages. Your early adopters can also end up being your early backers. They can also become your early distribution arm. And so we put a heavy emphasis in Tachyon with our founders in building in public and creating a culture in their community. Those are some of the keys to success. We believe that when it comes to building a community in Web3, founders need to focus on the community ownership, community participation, and community governance. Obviously, there's a lot more that I could talk about. And in fact, we have a full 12-week curriculum with founders where we unpack this. But this is one of the reasons that I think that Tachyon is so special and why our founders come out and end up being some of the more successful companies, at least within the Web3 startup ecosystem. And our track record speaks to that. Over 60% of our alumni end up raising a significant follow-on round within 6 months of program completion, and in many cases, a lot faster than that, which puts Tachyon in tier 1 of accelerators. Not Web3 accelerators, but all accelerator programs, including some of the more notable names out there. And we continue to build long-term value for our founders by supporting them for 3 months and beyond during their fundraise post-demo day. We really look for, to leverage the synergies across that consensus meta mesh network that I was showing you earlier, to unlock that value for our network and for our alumni. We're constantly innovating our product offerings to deliver more value to our founders and our alumni. And as we look to support even more founders in the future, you're going to hear about some of this in terms of our upcoming innovations during the closing remarks. It's key for us that we continuously innovate and create more value for the ecosystem. These are just some of our founders. Listen, no doubt about it, I am biased when I say this, but I think we have some of the best founders in the ecosystem. And I love it when they leave and become successful pillars of the Web3 ecosystem. I'm also extremely proud of the fact that Tachyon's NPS scores amongst our founders as they graduate are 80+. And that just, I think, speaks to how much we try to pour into the cohort and supporting these companies. All right, so that's enough about Tachyon. Let me tell you a little bit about the founders that you're about to meet today. Our investment thesis on Tachyon has always been that Web3 will be synonymous with the internet. We believe that Ethereum will be the final settlement layer of Web3. And so as we looked around the ecosystem, for complementary components of the Web3 stack, we found a mission-aligned partner in Protocol Labs, creators of breakthrough technologies such as Filecoin, IPFS, P2P, and so many more. So in 2020, so not this past year, but the previous year, Tachyon launched our first ever powered by partnership model with our friends at Protocol Labs. And that first cohort was just a smashing success. In fact, you're going to hear from some of our alumni and some of the founders that were in that cohort today, who came out of that program, who want to share with you what they've been working on since they came out of that original partnership program. But coming off the heels of that first partnership cohort, FLA2 was launched in April with a commitment. We made a commitment at the last demo day to have a permanent remote first program that kept the level of intensity, focus, and connection amongst our founders, and that our founders have come to expect from Tachyon. These technologies are global technologies. And so it's extremely important to us and to Protocol Labs that we're able to tap into the vast global entrepreneurial ecosystem and serve even more ambitious founders of Web3, no matter where in the world you are. And because of that, we ended up having the largest application pool we've ever had in Tachyon's history for this cohort. And so for the past 12 weeks, these 20 companies hailing from 11 different countries have come together in a remote first program to build the future of Web3. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to introduce you to these companies and have them come up and tell you a little bit about what they've been building for the past 12 weeks. These are some of the most ambitious and future-forward Web3 startups in the ecosystem that are building at the intersections of gaming, DeFi, NFTs, Metaverse portability, dev tooling, and automation tools. It's been so exciting to see the convergence of these industries take place within this cohort. And I think what's truly exciting for us is having watched them build over the past 12 weeks, it's been like peering into the future. For those of you who talk to me often, you know that I say that about most of our cohorts or every cohort, but it always ends up proving to be true. And so today, these founders are emerging to share with all of you what they've been building and their vision for a more open, resilient, and trustworthy internet. So with that as the context, let me share with you a little bit about how we're going to spend our day together. In a minute, I'm going to bring up Colin Everin, head of ecosystem and operations for Protocol Labs, for a few brief remarks. And then we're going to jump right into demos from our founders. So we've got 4 waves of teams. First up will be our DeFi teams. Now, these are DeFi-focused companies that are building platforms that are enabling access to open financial systems and protocols, automation and no-code tools for users, DAO Treasury Management tools, and consumer invest-to-play platforms. I think these are some of the most cutting-edge DeFi companies that I've seen in the wild. And then next, we're going to have a group of next-gen NFT companies. Now, these are companies that are creating new and novel use cases for powerful N-of-1 assets across the entire NFT landscape. So whether that be fractionalizing the world's most valuable NFTs to helping consumers unlock new experiences in the consumer journey with NFTs, or tool sets for the new creator economy. These companies are helping to define the next generation of NFT use cases. Then after that will be our gaming, social, and Metaverse companies. I'm really excited about this group, this wave. These are companies that are helping to build new gaming and social money platforms and Lego pieces that are leveraging the power of decentralization to create censorship-resistant experiences for not only existing gaming platforms, but also building interfaces for consumers and developers alike to connect with one another in and out of the Metaverse. Finally, will be our infra, dev tools, and automation companies. And I think we've probably saved the best for last, so you're definitely going to want to stay tuned. These are companies that are building a whole new stack and layer from the ground up. So whether they're building a whole new communications layer that's native to Web3, they're building automation to help bring the power of DeFi to DEXs that we see in CeFi, or some new and novel use cases that are unlocking the unfair competitive advantage of blockchain and decentralized ledger technology, surfing on top of token economics for new and novel businesses and use cases. So I'm very, very excited about the companies that you're going to see in that wave. And don't worry if that sounds like a lot. We've made sure to design today's event to create opportunities for checking your inbox if you need to, or having quick bio breaks. But there are also the slots we're going to have a number of alumni come and speak to you about what they've been building since leaving previous Tachyon cohorts. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for those. Finally, you want to stick around to the very end, I promise you, because we've got a couple of closing remarks by yours truly, and we've got a couple of special teaser announcements for the broader Web3 ecosystem. So you're in for a fantastic day. So literally all you need to do now is just sit back, relax, and we're going to jump right in. So we're going to go ahead and bring up Colin Everin to give a few brief remarks and share with you all of the ways in which we're thinking about how we're going to catalyze the next 1,000 startups within this ecosystem over the next year. So I think Colin and the team are all set up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get Colin up to the stage, please.
Thank you, Gabriel. Hi, everyone. My name is Colin, but my friends refer to me as Proto Colin. And I'm so incredibly excited to be participating in today's Filecoin Launchpad Demo Day. The community has been supporting the teams who are presenting today for months now, and I couldn't be more impressed by the creativity, the hard work, the resilience, and the growth mindset that they all have. My talk today is looking forward to the next year and discussing how together as a community we can catalyze the next 1,000 startups in our ecosystem. But first, I want to welcome everyone listening to Demo Day today. Today, we have folks from all over the world tuning in that really represent the entire community. Viewers from around the world representing hundreds of thousands of community members, tens of thousands of developers, thousands of storage providers, and hundreds of teams building on IPFS, Filecoin, libp2p, and Ethereum. And of course, we have 20 outstanding teams presenting, showcasing their products to the world. And so please help me welcome the second Launchpad cohort of 2021. Now, for the folks listening today, I do have a specific message to kick things off, and that is that the success of Web3 really depends on the success of our developers and entrepreneurs. We all have a collective vision for Web3, and that will only come to fruition if outstanding developers and entrepreneurs, just like the 20 teams presenting today, are incredibly successful. So it's our duty as engaged community members to help them succeed. And so I have a few asks for the folks listening right off the bat. First, if you're an active community member, please bring your energy to Demo Day. Be engaged in chat, make sure these founders know how excited you are about their products. 2, sign up for their 20 products and make sure you give feedback and input back into the teams presenting so they can iterate. 3, spread the word and help these teams grow their respective user bases. 4, please refer developers, product experts, and business candidates to these teams so they can accelerate their growth. And of course, anything else you can do to help these teams succeed. If creative and innovative developers like these 20 teams are successful, I promise we'll accelerate the transition to Web3. So please be engaged and helpful as they kick off their entrepreneurial journeys. Okay, so let's get into the meat of how we can catalyze the next 1,000 startups in our ecosystem within the next year. Of course, we're starting from an amazing starting point, with libp2p being the underlying networking library of Web3, adopted by basically all the major protocols in the Web3 space. IPFS makes the web work peer-to-peer, and of course, this has become the data and content platform of Web3. And at this point, we have hundreds of applications, excellent developer tooling, millions of websites, 200 or more million browser nodes enabled, and key digital infrastructure building on IPFS in this huge and growing ecosystem. And this is a quick snapshot of that ecosystem today. Of course, Filecoin is a crypto-powered storage network. It's becoming the storage network of Web3 with all sorts of different applications spanning all sorts of different use cases emerging from around the ecosystem. And of course, the Ethereum ecosystem has been stronger than ever. And the combination of IPFS plus Filecoin plus Ethereum is really better together. Juan did a recent talk on this, refreshing some of the incredible potential and current bridges between those ecosystems at EthCC. So please check out his video if you're curious there. So how do we take what we have today and catalyze the next 1,000 startups in the next year within these ecosystems? Well, I tend to use this kind of framework when encouraging the community to take part in that ecosystem growth. And that starts with ecosystem multipliers on top. These are new use cases, bridges to other Web3 ecosystems, or bridges to Web2 users that can inspire hundreds of different applications within a specific use case to emerge once the pioneers of those use cases are in place. In the middle here, we have developers, projects, and businesses. Developers entering through hackathons, education, resources, and support, transitioning their hacks into projects through accelerators, grants, and mentorship, and transitioning those projects into businesses through ecosystem funding and growth support. And then, of course, there are the underlying storage providers of the network that continue to expand and provide reliable service that's geographically distributed all around the world. So I'll click into just a few of these to give some examples of what I mean, and that can hopefully inspire the community to help join this movement and bring the next 1,000 startups into our ecosystem. So ecosystem multipliers. As many of us know, Filecoin is becoming the data storage layer of Web3. So no matter which kind of smart contract system that you're betting on, Filecoin is actively looking to store their data. In the last few, of course, Filecoin and Ethereum, as I mentioned, are better together. We did a large collaboration with Consensus to merge the Filecoin and Ethereum ecosystems through MetaMask and Infra, the codified DeFi bridge, and many others. But over the last few months, we've actually announced a whole bunch of different communities bridging as well. Filecoin plus Dapper Labs to focus on NFTs and the gaming metaverse. Filecoin and Chainlink around decentralized oracles. Filecoin and Textile, and Polygon and Near, which is now issuing free storage for developers and huge developer grants programs to the Near and Polygon ecosystems through those bridges and grants programs. And Filecoin and Hedera, focusing on NFTs. We actually just closed the application window for joint grants with Hedera and Filecoin, and received a ton of really amazing applications for those grants from developers all over the world. Of course, NFTs has been a major use case on top of Filecoin and IPFS. And with NFT.storage, NFT players all around the ecosystem can easily content address their NFTs with IPFS and back them up to Filecoin for very long periods of time. And so NFT.storage has become the default tooling for NFTs, opening up a whole use case for developers to join our ecosystems. Recently, OpenSea announced they're using NFTs with NFT.storage, IPFS, and Filecoin is one example of that. IPFS browser integrations have opened up 200 million nodes to the IPFS ecosystem through Brave and Opera in the last few months, and I think more to come in the future. Video and audio integrations are paving the way for tons of video and audio storage to join the IPFS and Filecoin networks. VideoCoin and Filecoin powering the NFT video market. LivePeer and Filecoin encouraging co-location of video transcoding, storage, and retrieval in the same locations. And Audius unleashing a whole new wave of music on top of Web3 with digital rights on top of IPFS. And of course, all sorts of Web2 data sets are starting to go onto Filecoin as well. The Starling Lab is recently onboarding tons of video footage from genocide survivors from the Shoah Foundation onto the Filecoin network, and ensuring that the verifiability of those videos back to their source is completely accurate. Lastly, I'll highlight just a few of the easy developer tooling tools that's making it easier for new developers to join our ecosystems. Web3.storage, which has been a developer tooling choice, tool of choice in most of our hackathons, making it easy for developers to use Filecoin. Estuary, which is storing large quantities of data on Filecoin today, and Textile storage auctions, which is just another really powerful developer tooling provider on Filecoin. So that's just a snapshot of some of the new use cases, the bridges to the Web3 ecosystems, and the bridges to the Web3 users that are inspiring hundreds of new applications to come in to our ecosystems and make it easy for them to engage with the full stack. In the middle here, I want to focus on that funnel of developers entering through hackathons, transitioning those hacks into projects through accelerators and grants and mentorship, and transitioning those projects into major businesses through ecosystem funding and growth support. We already have a great starting point. Filecoin is ranked number 4 in terms of the most actively developed blockchain protocol, and is encouraging more and more developers to enter the space. And we're doing that by encouraging them to learn, build, launch, and grow on top of IPFS, Filecoin, libp2p, and Ethereum. It starts with developer resources, transitions to hackathons, transitions to grants and accelerators, and of course, ecosystem and broader funding to accelerate their growth. And so it's just a great year. 2021 has been an amazing year for developers on top of these platforms. There are lots and lots of opportunities to build new ideas. I'll highlight a few of those just today. On hackathons, our goal is to engage 100,000 developers through hackathons in the next year. It's definitely a lofty goal, but we have an incredible starting point. To date this year, we have engaged over 10,000 developers in hackathons all over the world using IPFS, Filecoin, Ethereum, and many other platforms that are complementary. And at this point, just today, we are kicking off about 5 hackathons each month, each expecting to expose Filecoin and IPFS to 500 to 1,000 developers per event. And that continues to grow every month we see it. And so we have just an incredible inflow of developers trying IPFS and Filecoin and joining our ecosystems. A few highlights from our hackathons in the last few months. HackFest 2021 was a huge success with 655 hackers and 140 project submissions. It was just an amazing event run by ETH Global. The Asia Hackathon series is actually a collection of 4 different hackathons all over Asia, collaborating with Alibaba, Flow, Polygon, and other ecosystem players. The Filecoin Club is actually targeting students across a number of universities through a 12-week intense educational program. And I believe the ENCODE folks said the Filecoin program is one of the most engaged programs that ENCODE has ever ran. And of course, we have a whole slew of community engineers helping folks get onboarded and use various tools and point them in the right direction. Next, as we transition those hacks into projects, our goal is to ramp to 3,000 developer grants per year in the next year. We already do hundreds every quarter, and this is a goal to really accelerate those grant programs to give developers opportunities to flush out their ideas, get to an MVP and some solid users, and transition those hacks into projects. Those projects actively turn into business through our accelerators, as you'll see shortly today with Demo Day. All sorts of accelerators are actively coaching these startups through 3 months of mentorship and some seed funding to take their projects to the next level into real businesses that can accelerate to millions of users, if not billions one day. And our goal is to ramp those accelerators to graduate over 500 teams a year graduating from those accelerators. Good news, if you did miss the application deadline for either Tachyon's Launchpad, Outlier Ventures' Basecamp, or Long Hash's Frontier accelerators. There's another accelerator led by Techstars that is coming to fruition in Q4. Application deadline is open and runs through the end of the year. So please apply if you're interested and miss the deadlines for the other ones. This is going to be an amazing cohort of folks. So please join the movement. And finally, to accelerate these businesses to hundreds of millions and hopefully billions of users in the future, we have a ton of ecosystem capital, over 65 million of external capital raised by ecosystem funds that are actively looking to invest in IPFS and Filecoin, and we hope to grow that to several hundred millions in the coming year. So that's a quick summary of developers entering through hackathons, transitioning those hacks into projects, and transitioning those projects into businesses through our accelerator grants and ecosystem funding support. Finally, I'll touch briefly on storage providers. We have over 3,200 storage providers that have added 11 exabytes of storage to the Filecoin network in less than a year. That is large enough to store 3 billion 1080p movies, 1,200 times a Netflix movie archive, 50,000 Wikipedias, and I believe over 1.2 million versions of all of Web3 data. This is an incredible achievement, and we don't see any of this slowing down. In fact, our growth is still 60 petabytes a day of new storage providers coming in and providing reliable storage to the network, and that may increase as the year goes on. This is a quick snapshot of some of those storage providers. And of course, these storage providers are actively investing in our ecosystems, funding ecosystem projects, launching applications, participating in Filecoin Plus, finding and storing new data sets, expanding operations, and being a strong communication and presence in the community. So with these storage providers continuing to accelerate their presence and their reliable storage around the world, we can form that foundation of a fully decentralized vision. So that's a quick summary of how we as a community can accelerate the next 1,000 startups and the next wave of them in our ecosystems. Ecosystem multipliers on top, developers, projects, and businesses in the middle, and then growing number of storage providers in the middle, at the bottom there. Fantastic. So I want to leave folks with just a few thoughts for the developers and entrepreneurs presenting today. You are incredible, incredible teams. And today marks a critical transition moment where you not only get to showcase your products to the world, but you become leaders in the IPFS, Filecoin, and Ethereum ecosystems. Developers, entrepreneurs, and community members will start to look up to you as important stakeholders and mentors in the ecosystem, and that is an honor that you should cherish. I've been an entrepreneur many times, and this phase of the company is very fun. All the mentors in the room, your peers, the community, and myself are here to support you on the next phase of your journey, so never feel like you are alone. Please reach out for support anytime. And so I'll leave you with 3 quick thoughts before we can get to the main event. First, you are pioneers of a movement, so please be ambassadors to the next wave of innovators in our ecosystem. The quality of the community will ultimately dictate the success of our ecosystems, and so as the early adopters, please be welcoming and helpful to the new developers entering the ecosystem. Second, please take ownership of the underlying protocols and the roadmap. The Filecoin, IPFS, Ethereum, libp2p protocols, these are yours to evolve. And so if you think there are things missing, if there are gaps or improvements that can be made, please work with the community to enact that change. And finally, please take a long-term view. We are absolutely just getting started. In fact, we're less than 1% of the way to what the potential of Web3 can achieve. And so please continue to learn, level up, understand how to launch and grow Web3 applications, help your community, and please leverage all of the folks in this room and beyond to be successful. We're here to support you on that journey of starting at 1% and going for the next 10, 20, or 50 years as leaders in the Web3 ecosystem. Great, that's my presentation. Thanks everyone for listening. And now let's move to the main event. So I'll hand it back to Gabriel to introduce the next batch of demos and presentations. Thanks everyone.
All right, thank you, Colin. So enough with opening remarks. We're gonna jump right into the first wave. So starting with our DeFi companies, let's have our first team up to present, please.
Hi everyone, Lindsay here at Hedge, and we are options markets on any token. Today I wanted to show you a little bit about who we are and what we're doing in this space. So first we have Sean, myself, and Alex. We're the 3 co-founders. Alex on the right, he has 6 years senior Treasury Management experience at WeWork, and together the 3 of us, we've worked in DeFi for 4 years, building applications for around 40,000 users and 2 million transactions. So we understand DeFi, we understand FinTech, we understand Treasury Management. And that's why we're bringing options contracts to DeFi, unlike anyone else. So what are options? Real quick, they're sellable agreements. They give the buyer a right to buy your tokens, that's a call, or sell you tokens, that's a put, at a specific price by a certain date. Now these are more complicated than, say, spot trading. But it also means you can do a lot more with options in this space. And that's really important because it's something we desperately need. Here's an example. In this case, someone will pay you $500 to take all the profits on, in this case, 5,000 SERF, above a certain price before a certain date. That's a call option. Why would somebody have bought this? Well, in this case, it's leverage without liquidation. It essentially lets you take a longer position if the price goes up than, say, buying the tokens outright. Now, there are hundreds of ways you can apply options to DeFi. This is just one small example, but hopefully it gives you a frame to think about this as we show you the product. More importantly, though, why does DeFi need options? Well, on the top left, I like sharing this screenshot. This is the Gnosis vault. Out of 50 billion in the Gnosis vault, 46 billion of that is native tokens sitting idle. That means our industry is essentially paper rich and cash poor. The research I share here shows that as well, that we have a crisis in treasury management where we're basically not able to convert our native tokens to the currencies we need to, say, pay our employees or run a company in the way we need. And that's specifically because we just don't have the tools right now that you need to do that. On the bottom right, I also share this. This is just a degen in some group chat I'm in. He said, I went in all in on a 50x ETH long. Wish me luck. It was not options. I have no idea what he was using, but about 2 minutes later, he got totally liquidated. And I bring this up because we have degens in this space, people who are traders or wanting to get involved with like projects they like, but they just don't have those tools to do it in a responsible way either. And that's where we come in. We are that bridge between the sophisticated treasury management solutions, which are options, and the degens, the community members, the people who want to support these companies and projects. So enough talking about our platform. Let me actually show you what we do. In this case, this is a treasury management page. You might use this if you have a lot of native tokens and you want to start generating something from them. In this case, I want to generate runway capital with my native token. Let's click that. Okay, so I'm right here. What network? I'm on Phantom. Let's say I'll lock one boo until November 26th to generate about $4 because that's how I roll. Now, let's say that if the price of my token increases in value substantially, I'll also be willing to sell that token. Let's click it and let's make it happen. Okay, so right there, I just sold a call. Now, treasury management people, they're not options traders, but they do want the job that options do. And that's kind of the bridge we're gapping right now. So right here, I just sold an option. It's processing, okay? Now, who would see this option? Right here, this is the other side. This is for our degens. This is the Hedge, we internally call it the moon market. This is where you can see all of the, in this case, call options on our protocol, okay? In this case, I can see all the action on Avalanche, BSC, Ethereum, Phantom, Polygon, and XDAI. Let's say I want to connect to the XDAI network, 1, 2, and I'm on XDAI. Let's say I want to switch over to Phantom, 1, 2, Polygon, 1, 2, okay? Now, this is interesting because one of the problems with a lot of EVMs is aggregating that data and getting a good user experience. And I think that's something we've really tackled here, where we can show 6 networks in one place and let people interact with it in a seamless way. So let's say I want to buy this one. This is Dino. 3 Dino, if it increases in value, my 21 cents could go up to $4, $10, $100. Let me click that. 1, 2, 3. I just bought a call. And that's how easy we make it. Now let's go back to our other page right here. This is where I create things. It's also where we have our sophisticated trader pages. If you're an options trader, you want to buy calls or puts or sell calls or puts. This is where you can manage your full portfolio. It's also where you can see the analytics. Here you can see all of the action on our protocol. It's almost like a live traction page for us. On the left here, this is also bots we integrate. These are like push notifications for all the activity you do on our protocol. Anything you do shows up here and you can track it in real time. And that's a big value add for our users. So right now is a good time to jump back into the product and maybe show you a little bit about why this is built the way it is. So what are we trying to do here with our products? Simply, we're trying to build the rails for 9,000 tokens that have access to options markets. Okay, so you see our own UI today, and those are solutions that can easily onboard teams and traders and create those early markets in a way no one else is. To do that, you have to be the most flexible, most composable, the most scalable product. And that's exactly what we are. We're doing that in a way that no one else is. But then our main goal here is to be the rails that options are built on long-term. That means you need to be permissionless, self-made markets, open source front ends, protocol level integrations. And that's the way we're thinking, not only to build ecosystems within our own UIs, but also to make Hedge a protocol that people can build on and build options markets on. To capture 9,000 tokens, that's what you have to do. And we're doing that better than anyone else. But to go to market, we're going to start very simple. That's what we're doing today. We're focused on the DAOs, the token teams, the token funds. They have about 85 billion in native tokens that are just sitting idle because they don't have the tools to use them. We're going to unlock those through covered calls. Those are the products I showed you today. On the other side, we're tapping into those communities, those traders, those contributors. Those are the people who want access to these covered calls. And by connecting those two, we really drive a useful wedge in a market with a very specific product. And that's what's live today. So right now, our volume is growing. On the left here, you can see about 20 tokens. These are self-add tokens. You can just add them in a minute. You may see 20 here. That's already more than any other platform. Our volume is growing as well, with people adding liquidity to the protocol daily. In the middle here, teams are using it. We have DAOs passing proposals to use Hedge in their treasury management solutions. On the right here, we have traders using it. These are people who are using Hedge to trade options on low liquidity assets. This is something that before us just wasn't a possibility, and today it is. But this is only the beginning. Call options is our wedge, but there's so many things you can do with options to unlock value. Once we pull people into our ecosystem, get people building, push people to build new solutions on our protocol, we can really tap into some interesting things like insured token distribution, success contracts, claimable calls, safe token alternatives, buybacks, milestone-based bonuses. The things you can do with options are incredible, and it's something right now our space doesn't have. Our goal is to create value in bear and bull markets. And we're going to do that by creating value through real products that token teams can use, that traders can use, and that every person in the space finds value in. And that's how we get to 50 million in revenue. If we can lock 5 billion cumulative locked value, we can get to 45 billion in notional traded value. And that'll get us to 50 million in fees collected by Hedge at the protocol level. Thank you for the time. Reach out to us if you'd like to join us. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Arasha from Tamako Finance. We are building a DeFi protocol that creates synthetic token for real-world adoption in Asia. We formed our team 4 months ago during the Chainlink Hackathon, and we're about to raise the pre-seed fund from a number of VC, including Token, Coin United, Billa, Incuba Alpha, and most importantly, Consensus. And here is our team. Our team has a diverse background experience. We have worked on many DeFi and crypto projects. Teresa and Pisut have known each other for more than 3 years. Both were original members of ETH Bangkok since 2018 and have been running the ETH and DeFi Bangkok meetup, which have 6,000 community members today. We immersed from the Chainlink Hackathon, where we received 3 prizes and later got contacted by a lot of VC across the globe. We were invited to apply the Techion's Accelerator program from Consensus. All of us are still here and working hard to build the project. The business side is handled by Teresa, who has 5 years of experience as a finance researcher and trader in the traditional banks, and 3 years of experience working on building the blockchain community. Pisut is handling the technical side. He has experience working in Berlin X for nearly 3 years and had run many international hackathons in Japan, Singapore, and Bangkok, which include East Singapore. And me, Arsha, I have an experience in content writing and marketing management skill, and I'm also graduated from Japanese University, so I can help the team to develop in the Japanese market. We have built up a core team with rich industrial experience in Thailand, and we are backed by Tachyon. The vision of Tamako Finance is to democratize finance by making Asian assets accessible to anyone, anywhere. We are growing with the mission to bring digital assets for real-world adoption to Asian markets across borders. So why Asia? As DeFi continues to grow, the ongoing crackdown across the globe against synthetic token is a concern. They are not happy with DeFi. But how can we overcome these problems? Or is there some place that best fit for DeFi on real-world adoption? And yes, in Asia, we have 48 countries, each having its own jurisdiction. The market is diverse and has a huge room for DeFi to move forward without any foreseeable obstacle for the next 10 years. For example, some Chinese traders love to trade Taiwanese stock, but they can't find a place to trade now. Another example is in Thailand, where the authority is quite conservative. They not allow beer company to do IPO in Thailand. So Chang Beer, the most popular beer company in Thailand, need to list their stock in Singapore. But with us, Thai trader don't need to open an account in Singapore to trade Thai beer stock at all. Here we are introducing Tamako Finance, a protocol that generates synthetic asset of stock tokens, foreign currency stablecoin, and commodity tokens. The token value back to type of asset, which are stablecoin and non-stablecoin. Tamako, through the hybrid scheme, is used a combination to utilize user collateral. By using our native token, in bull market, you can mint more synthetic token from the same position because the token price of the collateral go high, while in bear market, this kind of assets seem to be easily liquidated. And using stablecoin provide low volatility during the bear market, but you will have no long exposure during the bull market as well. Tamako use a hybrid scheme. The synthetic tokens is backed by the value from two types of asset, stablecoin and our native token named TAMG. During a bull market, you need to use more TAMG to mint tokens. And if TAMG price increase, you would have the ability to generate more synthetic tokens. And we have an on-chain logic to identify whether the market is bull or bear. During a bear market, the value will shift toward the stablecoin instead. Maker can mint 50 Hong Kong dollar stablecoins by using a combination of stablecoin and non-stablecoin. An on-chain indicator tracks whether the market is bullish or bearish by using the formula. Next, over traction. Right now, we have around 1,500 followers on social media and the community. And we got 10,000 TVL within the first week after mainnet launch and 75,000 TVL within 4 weeks. We expect our TVL to be grow exponentially when the incentive program is go live. And here is our target market. We forgot on Asia DeFi synthetic market, with the market size is around 10 million. And we're going to reach out to them by start with our community first. The milestone and roadmap. We expect to have our GAN launch in fourth quarter of this year. We will list Asian stock tokens by having a synthetic asset insurance mechanism for Asian asset. Also, we will make the listing process become community co-invest. We won the Binance and Chainlink Hackathon prize early this year, and we are currently in Filecoin Accelerator program and launch our product this month. And we're planning to list Asian currency and stock tokens soon and expect to launch our mobile application in early next year. We are Tamako Finance. We start with 3 founders, and we are growing with a mission to democratize finance by making Asian assets accessible to anyone, anywhere. Now, the product is on the mainnet. Come visit Tamako Finance and start exploring the future of finance. Thank you.
Smart Funds is building simple, automated, and compliant fund administration tools. See disclaimers. Smart Funds is addressing the challenges related to the high barriers to entry for someone to get into asset management. Generally, you can't be an asset manager unless you already know you can raise large amounts of capital. That generally comes from being part of some existing network, perhaps the old boys club. And if you can get over those hurdles, there's a very limited number of investment strategies and vehicle types that are generally used. And if you get over those hurdles, there are the costs. So it generally costs $20,000 to $150,000 to get off the ground, and then a variety of ongoing costs related to back office and compliance. We're eliminating all those barriers to entry by making fund administration open source. So we reduce all of the fund creation and administration to a set of smart contracts. In just a few minutes, you can create a custom vehicle that includes customized management and performance fee, custom lockup period. We manage high watermark. We manage a whitelist to ensure compliance. All of that can be spun up in a matter of minutes. And by doing that, we have unlocked the ability to use public infrastructure, in this case, a block explorer, for fund administration and auditing. What you're looking at here is a screenshot from Etherscan, which represents a live cap table of a hedge fund. This is not hypothetical. This is actually the cap table for a hedge fund that we launched called the Yield Farming Fund. And yes, we ate our own dog food here. We launched the first compliant US hedge fund built entirely out of smart contracts. The Yield Farming Fund is the only fund that does, the only compliant hedge fund that does not have a bank account or a fund administrator. And we've been in operation for over a year now. So this is not a hypothetical kind of futuristic thing that might happen in the future. And it's because we use those smart contracts that we unlock all these cost reductions. We turned all these upfront and fixed costs into either zero or variable. And it's important that this infrastructure becomes available now because of what DeFi enables. The concept of locking collateral in smart contracts is underneath almost all of the most creative and exciting use cases of DeFi. It's an exponential advance in rehypothecation and turns investment strategies from what was previously checkers into a version of 3D chess. And so this unlocks a new wave of creativity and a new opportunity for emerging fund managers to try entirely new strategies with exciting possibilities for investor returns. Liquidity mining and NFTs are entirely new asset classes. And there's obviously a tremendous amount of excitement for investors to participate in certainly the NFTs. As liquidity mining matures, liquidity mining is becoming the Web3 version of growth hacking. And any investor who wants to be a quote unquote early stage investor and participate in either liquidity mining or NFTs as an asset class will need native on-chain fund administration infrastructure. Having a bank account full of fiat dollars at Silicon Valley Bank does not do you any good. You need to get the capital on-chain. More important than what's necessary is what becomes possible. And these are things we've already touched on. Just as Uber exponentially increased the size of the taxi market and email exponentially increased the size of the communications market, what becomes possible when you remove all those barriers to entry? So one idea that we had was the idea of an SPV for a single position, something we call a 0N1 fund. Or how about dollar cost averaging into a hedge fund? This is also something that wasn't possible before, given traditional closing costs and closing processes offline. But again, not hypothetical. What you see on the right is actually a screenshot of notifications I got in our own fund, where one of our investors wanted to essentially front run a market move and dollar cost average into his position. At first, we best serve the more purely on-chain DeFi-focused hedge funds or any kind of Web3 focused fund. But as we add the rest of the compliance functionality, we'll be able to offer fund administration tools for any kind of fund or vehicle. But as we noted, we're most excited about the new kinds of vehicles that we enable using this exciting infrastructure. We do have a growing pipeline full of interested parties. This is a great time for, there's a great deal of interest in starting on-chain related funds. We have a very high conversion rate to verbal commitments based on our pipeline of qualified leads. What we're finding is that existing fund administration options have an extremely low net promoter score. Everyone hates their fund administrator, and while they consider them a necessary evil, as soon as we're able to offer the same compliance functionality, as soon as we're at feature parity, we're going to be winning an even higher number of these accounts. It's important to understand where we lie on the competitive landscape. On the left, you see all of the sort of traditional off-chain, offline fund administration services, and they do let you participate in a variety of investment strategies, vehicle types, but they are painful to use and expensive and complex. On the right, we've moved into the more purely decentralized asset managers, Urn Finance, index token sets as examples. These are basically single strategy, repeatable, profitable strategies that are run by smart contracts. They are designed not to be nimble. They're designed not to be active. In fact, Urn, for example, will not deploy none of their strategies will deploy capital into automated market makers because of the risk of impermanent loss, because the returns aren't certain. So these are not intended to be actively managed asset managers. On the more active but decentralized side are Enzyme and Hedge. And they have solved for decentralization by essentially limiting the available asset universe and strategy universe substantially in order to be 100% decentralized. And so we think that it's important for asset managers to be able to leverage not just all of the assets in DeFi, but all of the strategies that involve rehypothecation, lending, borrowing, and certainly multi-layered, the new kinds of multi-layered investment strategies that are enabled by the exciting rehypothecation of locked collateral. And so only smart funds gives you the benefits of all these in one option. We are the team that knows the most about this. We are the team that both built and launched that first smart contract-based hedge fund, and our work has been noticed. We have a growing partnership with Enigma Securities, a McCore Group company, which is helping to establish us within the institutional client base that we hope will be the next generation of on-chain fund managers. Now we're going to demonstrate how easy it is to start a fund on the Smart Funds protocol. Click Start a Fund. You see here that we only have one fund type at first, but we'll be offering all kinds of options down the road. Each fund is designed around the general ledger being attached to one blockchain address. In this case, this is the address that I'm currently logged into via MetaMask. So we're going to go ahead and use that. We're going to call this fund the Demonstration Fund. And we'll give it a demo fund symbol. And we're going to skip the URL, but we're going to say that this is the contact information for fund manager should people want to get in touch. Here's where we create the fund parameters. We're going to keep it a 2 and 20 fund in terms of fees. We're going to have a minimum $10,000 investment, and we're going to do a 12-month lockup. And so here's where it asks you to confirm the fund parameters. And sure enough, it's as simple as executing that transaction. And there it is. You see that we have steps for how to manage your fund. Here's where you can see there's no capital in the fund yet or assets under management, but you have demonstration fund. Here is where you would be able to update your AUM after the fund has started. Here's where you'd see your list of investments that have been taken in, manage your whitelist, and manage your fees, which come in the individual fund token, which would be paid in demo in this case. Now, if we go ahead and look at some other funds that have been already set up, you can see in this case, here's a fund that was started yesterday. Only $2,000 has been invested, and obviously they've made a whole bunch of money in the last day. They must have invested in some new NFT. But here you can see the assets that are in the fund, the prices in them, links to third-party pricing. But most importantly for test fund, we can take a look at the contract address and see here is the actual test fund. Here are all the transactions in test fund, and here are all the minting. The first investor minted 200,000 shares of this fund of TFND. So here's us using public infrastructure for fund administration and auditing tools. And we look forward to telling you more. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sandy Zhang. I'm the CEO of Claim Island and one of the co-founders. Claim Island is a gamified yield farming and NFT platform on a 3D island. What we do in a nutshell, we make investing easy, fun, and effective through the power of blockchain and gamification. The problem we see is that investing is boring and it's hard. A lot of investors experience at least one challenge to understanding their investments, and a lot of millennials want gamification to help them learn more about investing and to keep them more engaged. Gaming actually has the opposite problem. It's fun and addictive, but it's usually a time and money waster. What we want to do is combine the best of both worlds and give the people what they want. We want to leverage cutting-edge blockchain yield farming technology for investment returns. We want to add an immersive 3D gamified layer, complete with in-game characters on top of that. And these characters will function much like any RPG game where they guide you through the whole process. We want to also integrate 3D NFT collectibles to boost the ecosystem sustainability and to make investing even more fun. And these NFTs, which are Clam and Pearl NFTs, they have billions of random trait variables, and they have on-chain rarity tiers. They have financial utility built right into the platform. So it is very much a fully integrated system and much more than just a gimmick. We've already got a lot of traction going for our project. We've run 2 community pre-sales, one for the Shell token, which is our governance token, and the Clam NFT, which is one of the 2 NFTs available on our platform. And altogether, we have raised about $325,000. And we have a good spread of unique individual wallet addresses through the 2 pre-sales. And most of the people we interviewed have indicated that they intend to participate fully in the ecosystem, participate in buying Clam NFTs and producing pearls with them. Currently, we are at about 1,000 Telegram members on the social side. Now we are currently pre-launch. We're running a beta that's going to be finished in about a week or 2, after which we will launch publicly. We expect to grow exponentially from there because we have many things lined up as well with influencers, etc., to make sure we hit that virality factor and hit the ground running at launch. We see our immediately addressable market size as $5 billion, which represents blockchain gaming. That is the intersection of DeFi markets and the global games market. But we believe our potential is much bigger than that. I mean, we built a UX that is designed to strip away the complexities of yield farming and cryptocurrency as much as possible. So we believe we can attract the crypto curious as well as those who don't even know anything about crypto to really get onto the platform. Because what we have designed here is what we call play to invest, where it is not play to earn in the sense that you have to grind and really upskill your gaming skills in order to earn money. Instead, all you have to do is play the game, which is Clam Island, in order to invest your money and gain a return. For that reason, we say the retail stock investment market, which is at about $1 trillion for 2021, is relevant for us. And so is the global games market, in which there are 2.9 billion gaming players. The intersection of these 2 markets is really, I think, where our potential lies. Now, without going any further, I think it'll be good for you guys to see a demo of the product to understand how the whole thing works. So let's go have a look. Welcome to Clam Island. Upon arriving, you are greeted by Captain Naker here. He's our resident captain. He'll tell us what you can do on the island, but for now, I'll just go explore island so we can have a look. This island is rendered in full 3D right from the browser. No app installation needed. There are 5 buildings here. From the left, we will first have a look at the shop. This is where you go to buy your Clam NFTs. So you go to buy Clam. You can go through that process. And Diego here, our shopkeeper, will guide you through the whole process as well. Once the transaction is confirmed, you will then be able to collect it, which is a process through which the random DNA is actually assigned to the Clam to give it all of its traits. So I just confirmed this collection transaction. And there it is. We have a full 3D Clam with some stats. So I've got an uncommon one, not too bad. Lifespan of 6, meaning it is able to produce 6 pearls before it dies, and a size value, and a whole bunch of other values here for the body and tongue as well. And as I said before, there are billions of possible trade combinations for each of clams and pearls. And once it's bought here, you'll then be able to go stake it in the farm. You'll see here that we already got 2 staked in here. When you deposit a clam, and that's one I just created. So the one that I just bought. When you deposit the clam here, it'll take some time before you'll be able to produce a pearl. These ones are already ready to produce. But in the interest of time, I'll just go over to the safe room right now to show you the pearls that we have currently in the safe. So this is one of the pearls that we have. It's also in full 3D. There are various traits, each of which is reflected in the 3D asset itself. So for example, you've got the shape, which is ringed, color. You have the grade as well. This is a D grade, so it's not very good in that sense. The surface value of 32, meaning it's quite bumpy, as you can see. And these are all based on real life traits of pearls to make it as realistic as possible. Once you have these pearls, you can head over to the bank to make use of them. And right now in the bank, we have 2 yield farming pools. This is currently in beta, so there will be a lot more pools when we do launch. But right now, you can come to the gem pool, for example, deposit some gem to earn some yield. But at the same time, you can boost your yield using pearls. Every week, there is a particular shape and color that's required for a pearl to be burned. So I don't have currently any pearl that is drop shape and black color, which means I can't burn any pearls this week. But once you do burn a pearl for yield, the yield that you do get as bonus will depend on its traits. And rare pearls generally have higher yield that you'll be able to get as bonus. That is our ecosystem in a nutshell. I hope you like it. I will just go back to my slides. Now, this is our business model. Now that you've seen the platform, this is important to understand how it is that our business model works. So we have two tokens at Climb Island. One is a gem token and the other is a shell token. The gem token is our inflationary yield farming token. So all the rewards are paid out in gem, but it is also our in-game currency, meaning that all the NFT assets must use gem to be purchased. And upon purchasing a claim NFT or farming claim NFTs for bearer NFTs, the gem price is burned. 80% of the gem price is burned, and 20% of it comes to our treasury as our income. Well, the claim NFTs can also be burned in order to produce, in order to give you shell, which is our governance token. And this is the only way in which the shell token can inflate. So it's in that way, it is a scarce token. It also has utility because you can farm shell directly on a yield farming platform to create gem rewards. The claim NFTs have, as you know, a limited lifespan. So if there's a lifespan of 5, it means it can produce only 5 pearls before it dies. And if it dies, you can no longer burn it for shell. But at the same time, the more pearls a claim can produce, as long as it's still alive, the more shell you can claim as well. So there's a bit of an interplay here to let the user have some choice as to when they want to burn for shell, if at all, or how many pearls they want to produce with the claim. Every week there's a limited number of claims available for purchase. So to start off with, we had 2,500 in the first week, and then it reduces by 50 every week until there's only 500 claims available for purchase every week. And the price of the claim in gem for the week is dependent on the demand for claim purchase in the week before. So it's all dynamically adjusted. Through that, we hope to create a sustainable ecosystem and sustainable income. And that is an important model for us because we want to build, once we establish a stable income and balance the ecosystem for sustainability, we want to be able to go further and expand our ecosystem. Firstly, by integrating an NFT marketplace, and that will become a cornerstone for us to expand further and allowing the integration of new NFT collections and other games and other yield farms onto our platform. The NFT marketplace will become an inter-game one where you can directly trade assets between games, either for gem or directly for each other. And we can also do things like having the NFTs of one game have certain utility in another game. And the way we want to attract people onto our platform is by, we will create this. We create a stable ecosystem through which it's very easy for another game creator to hook in with their NFTs, and they will use our gem token as the inflationary reward token, as well as a token used to purchase the NFTs. But they will also be allowed their own governance token for each game, just like how Climb Island has Shell as its governance token. So in that way, they also have another option to raise some money for themselves outside of using the gem token as the overall ecosystem token. If that model is successful, and we believe it will be, we will then aim to become the Steam of blockchain gaming and yield farming. Our team comprises of 3 founders, myself, Gus, who is the Solidity lead, and Ali, who is our CMO and community engagement. So we are experienced in Gen Y and Z retail consumer e-commerce marketing and product positioning. We have a full stack team, currently 11, including the founders, covering all elements of design. All of our founders are also veterans in the DeFi and NFT space. We have reputation there. We are in a number of inner circles with high-profile connections. Some of the teams you can see there on the slide. We have direct access to the team members, direct line of communication, and some of them are potential partners upon launching. And that's it for Climb Island. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked our product and our pitch.
Hi everyone, my name is Breno and I'm co-founder of Boto, a no-code platform where users can create and share bots to automate their online activities. The way I like to think about Boto is if GitHub meets Zapier. And the reason for that is that Boto is a platform where you can share logic in an actionable way, just like developers can do in a Git repository. But it is easy to use like Zapier for non-developers. So this way, everyone can share logic online in a workflow style and is actionable. You can automate things using someone else's logic. We are starting our journey in the crypto space. One of the reasons for that is that my co-founder and I both have been in the crypto space for over 5 years. We have extensive experience and we love this space. The other reason is that crypto is a 24/7 space, but humans are not. And that is very important for users to have access to automation in order to really take advantage of this space and to avoid having situations where they lose money because of a price went down while they were asleep and other things such as missing a voting for a decentralized organization. So in order to solve this problem, we have created a platform that is easy to use. I'm going to demo you the tool now and then come back to the presentation. This is the landing page of our platform where you have all your user stats, and I'm going to walk you through how to create a Boto bot. In the creation page, you have all the blocks at your disposal on your left, and you just need to drag and drop them into the canvas and build your flow chart with your logic. In this case, I'm going to use this block, which is one of my favorite ones. It's a portfolio monitoring for NFTs. What this block does, it looks at the latest collection that an investor has invested. So not the latest thing he has bought, but the latest collection. So what's the new collection he's investing in? So we can get in early. In this case, I'm going to put a minimum investment value of 5 Ether. This is to remove noise from collections that the investor has invested that are really invested just a little bit of money. So this way we only get notified with something more important, let's say. This is all you need really to get these notifications. The next step would be to add a block to receive this notification via Telegram or via email or Discord. But I want to show you a little bit more about what Boto is about, which is allowing people to be creative and create logic, use their logic to create a bot that is more interesting. So in this case, I don't want only to be notified about this collection, but I also want to check if the collection is affordable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert the floor price from Ether to US dollars. And then I'm going to put a filter for the amount that I'm willing to pay in a new collection. So I convert the floor price to US dollars, and now I'm going to add a filter block here where I can just make sure that the value in US dollars that we just converted is, let's say, below $1,000. So this way we make sure we don't get notified of something that we can't buy. Finally, the last step on this bot would be to get the notification. In this case, I'm going to be using Telegram, and I'm going to write a customized message with the things that I think are important for my decision as an investor buying an NFT. So I'm going to put the name of the collection that Pranksy has invested, and then I'm going to say I want to know how much he invested. So invested a certain amount in Ether, and he bought X number of NFTs. So let's say I want to see also how many NFTs this means. And you can get other information here, such as there's so many things available, such as one-day average prices, or you can look at the total supply for that NFT, how many owners are there, so you make sure it's well diversified. For the case of this demo, I'm just going to use this basic information, but I also want to see the image of that collection, of course. And let's see how our bot works. So this is all you need to do. Just a quick recap. We are monitoring collections that Pranksy invests, so we can get in early on. We are converting the floor price to US dollars and filtering to make sure we can afford that collection. And we put a Telegram block here to be notified on Telegram. So I'm going to create the bot and save it. And we should be receiving a message in Telegram, a notification about the latest investment from Prexy. And here we just received it. And as you can see, the information that we have added in our customized message, like I said, you can add more information here depending on how what kind of information you would like to see before investing. And here is a little image of that collection. This is all you need to do to create a bot. If you don't want to create something from scratch, we also have recipes which provide you with a pre-made bot. In one click, you can have a bot running. So I hope you have enjoyed the demo. I'm going to take you back to the presentation now. One of the main differentiations about a platform is its composability. During the demo, you saw how you can just drag and drop blocks into the canvas and build your logic. These blocks were built to be very standardized, and it's very easy to add a new block to a platform that takes advantage of all the other blocks that are already there, such as the Telegram bot, filters, etc. So here, I want to talk about an example where we saw a message from Peter Pan on Twitter, and he's asking if anybody is willing to build a snapshot vote alert Telegram bot. We saw this message and we realized one of our competitors had replied to it saying they've been working with the Snapshot Labs team for a while and they were going to release something like that in the future. So we thought, okay, we can do better than that. So we quickly went to Snapshot website, learned about their APIs, went back, coded a new block to the platform and posted it. And in less than 1 hour, we had our first Snapshot Vote Alert Telegram bot available and had this message in Telegram already, replied to the original tweet, got the attention from Fabian, the CEO of Snapshots, and we ended up working together on a second use case that went live a few days after. So this is how quick we can react to market. My co-founder and I both met at Ripple, where we worked together for over 4 years. We immediately got along because we're both obsessed about automation. As a mechatronics engineer, automation is in my DNA. My last role at Ripple was as head of revenue intelligence, and my co-founder was leading engineer works in the blockchain area, building tools for the XRP ledger. And before Ripple, he was at Santander, which he's now lead blockchain engineer, doing things from infrastructure to front end, full stack engineer in blockchain. And as you can see, we have also achieved a few things already, as we won 2 prizes in the Chainlink Hackathon from Av and Infra, and we also part of the Filecoin Launchpad from Tachyon Consensus Mesh. We launched our platform just a little bit over 1 month ago, and thanks to our composability, we have been able to add use cases week over week. We started with Ethereum transactions, moved into decentralized organizations, added NFTs use cases, truly at a Web3 speed. And now we have also added functionalities such as recipes, which allow users to create bots within 1 click. All our growth has been organic so far. People started finding us on Google last week, which is pretty cool. And I wanted to highlight one of our users who tweeted about us saying that he avoided the getting liquidated during the dump this week, which is pretty great. The major metrics we've been measuring is bot actions, and the reason for that is that we want to track how much time and actions we are doing on behalf of our users. Our immediate market, when we look at 2 of our early use cases, which is Ethereum transactions and NFTs, there are over 7 million transactions per month that are just waiting to be automated. And beyond the crypto market, when we look at Web2 space, there's the workflow automation market, which is estimated to be 40 billion by 2027. With regards to our roadmap, currently we are doing bots that are purely informative. They're getting smarter and smarter, but the users still need to take actions on their own. The next step would be to have bots that assist users. So we will not only notify you about this new collection, but we also offer you a couple of NFTs based on your criteria, and you can just tell the bot to buy one on your behalf. Finally, we want to have bots that are fully automated, doing things on behalf of users without them having to interact with the bots, but we really wanted to take users through that journey so they really understand the logic behind things and they're comfortable with those automations. And that will truly enable us to get to that vision that I mentioned earlier, which is the bot repository where people can share logic in an actionable way in our platform. And that's where we really want to get at the end. Finally, we also have the question of composability that I mentioned earlier, how we can add new blocks to the platform for increasing the number of use cases, in order to be truly scalable, we want to open up for developers to be able to add blocks. So not just Boto people can create blocks to the platform, but also developers from different countries can add blocks that are relevant to their own use case. With regards to our business model, we plan on having a free tier that allow users to use the full functionalities of the platform up to a certain amount of actions that the bots can take per month. After that, users have to pay per usage, similar to how Zapier charges on Web2 and some of the other platforms. And when we get to a marketplace where we have blocks that are provided by developers and they charge for those blocks, we can also get a percentage on those subscriptions. This is the end of our presentation today. I hope you have enjoyed the demo and the presentation. If you want to learn more about Boto, please get in contact, and thank you so much for your attention and time.
Okay. Wow. What a first group. What a first wave. Okay, so we're gonna now introduce you to a couple of alumni who have come back to tell you a little bit about what they've been up to since you last saw them at the previous demo day. So we've got a couple of companies, Multisafe, Secured Finance, who are gonna tell you what they've been up to. So let's get the first team up from Multisafe, please.
Hey, I'm Tarun, founder and CEO of Multisafe. We are simplifying crypto treasury management for companies and DAOs. Our mission is to build the most sophisticated user experience layer on top of NoSysAfe protocol, along with the shared data layer on top of IPFS and Filecoin. So Tachyon has been an amazing journey for us. We were a part of Tachyon 4th cohort, and from the very beginning of our accelerator days, we used to take a lot of user interviews to validate our assumptions. Tachyon helped us in really defining our pitch deck for fundraising, and also I still remember we had weekly metrics for tracking our early traction. And I'm glad to share, before our demo day, we were able to close 12 launch partners. And post demo day, we launched our V1 and closed our seed round. Currently, we have more than 120 organizations with $200 million in treasury assets, and we have processed more than $8 million in payouts. So we'll be soon coming up with a new product feature, which is asset allocation strategies with built-in risk management. And we are really looking for launch partners. So if you're a DAO or a company and really looking to diversify your treasury assets, talk to us, reach out on Twitter or Discord. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Secure Finance co-founder CEO Masa. We are building an interbank-grade long-term derivatives trading platform for cryptocurrency and digital assets. At Secure Finance, we don't just build products, we make capital markets possible for long-term digital asset management, which comes with a decentralized KYC compliance system and sophisticated collateral netting algorithm. Current DeFi players are building a money market with a spot exchange, which I think is successful. So it's time for us to build a capital market to complete the full range financial market. Our project started as a hackathon project last summer. The core members joined a 30-day hackathon called HackFS run by East Global and Protocol Labs. Luckily, we got the top DeFi prize from Protocol Labs and the best East 2.0 project from Ethereum Foundation. After that, in October 2020, we were invited to join the Tachyon Accelerator program. We got a golden ticket to change our life. At Tachyon, we got the Army trainer, Gabriel Anderson. Every meeting with him was super helpful. He and his team always provided value-adding feedbacks for our pitch, such as weak logic and inconsistency that we tend to overlook by ourselves. It provided the whole range of experience with iterative pitch practices that are needed to become an investor-ready company. I think that's the most valuable part of Tachyon. It gave us endurance and confidence before starting fundraising. Since demo day on January 29th, we have kept track of the total number of test pilot signups as our KPI. It was 77 at Tachyon demo day. After Takian, we started fundraising and achieved an initial target of $2 million in about a month. At that time, we got over 100 signups. We were so lucky to meet strong founder-level investors who really share our vision, so we decided to stretch a goal to $3 million. We achieved the target and doubled our signups to 200. In July, we finally announced the closing of the $4 million seed round, and our signups were over 300. What's rewarding for us is that we came back to the IPFS Hackathon as a sponsor to support the next hackers. We would love to pay it forward. So we are incredibly honored to have supports from amazing investors and partners around the globe. This success was not possible if we hadn't joined Takian. So thank you very much. Lastly, we will have a couple of important announcements soon, so please follow our Twitter and join the Discord community channel. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And of course, please sign up for early access to our test pilot program. It comes with a Filecoin loan market survey. And finally, congratulations to all the Takian projects. I'm sure you will have quite an exciting journey. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Masa. So exciting. All right, let's move right into our next wave. So the next group of companies that we're going to be bringing up are our new and novel NFT use case companies. So let's get the first company who's ready to present up, please.
Hi, my name is Vinicius. I'm COO and co-founder of Nft. We provide fractional ownership for the world's most valuable NFTs. Well, it is clear that NFT market is booming right now, but not without its own problems. And the main ones that we want to address are the lack of liquidity of this market, the high investment risk in which investors could face the risk of buying some expensive NFT that could worth much less in the following days or even hours. There is the monetization problem in which those extremely high-priced NFTs may not be able to be sold for their true value in a reasonable time frame. And also we have the accessibility problem, because as we are currently experiencing this boom in the market, with NFTs being sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, these small investors are left out of these big purchases. They are not getting exposure to the main NFTs in the market. So what is Nft and what do we do to solve these main problems? Nft is a totally decentralized application that provides the fractionalization of non-fungible tokens, allowing anyone to share the ownership of their NFTs in a trustless way. Let me briefly explain to you how it works. So during the fractionalization process, the NFT is staked in our smart contract. The user sets a reserve price for the NFT and receives fractions fully backed by it. These fractions are all ERC20 tokens, allowing the user to do whatever they want with them, such as selling them at a fixed price like another book, or launching them with liquidity in the open market. And once the NFT is fractionalized and the fractions are on sale, anyone can go there and trade these fractions at any moment. If someone wants to buy the entire NFT, this person doesn't need to ask permission from any other fraction holder. You simply go there, pay the reserve price, receive the NFT, and the amount paid goes to our smart contracts vault, and all the other fraction holders can claim a proportional amount of the value paid. So it is a win-win situation for everyone. And here's where Nft brings the perfect solution by bringing more liquidity and by democratizing access to this valuable market. So Nft helps NFT creators to easily monetize by selling fractions of their NFTs and allowing them to have a fair price discovery for them. We have the DAOs here that they are used to share the ownership of their collections in a centralized way by using multi-sig wallets, for example. And now they can eliminate these central points of failure by sharing the ownership of their NFTs in a decentralized way using Nft. and traders can enjoy the liquidity of the fractions market and the possibility to integrate them to all the DeFi applications. Well, our vision has always been to connect the NFT ecosystem to all the DeFi applications, having a new building block for the DeFi money Legos with the fractionalization layer here. And this is happening because the NFT fractionalization has become a trend, and there are numerous possibilities to create on top of that layer. We are proud to say that we were the pioneers in creating and launching a totally decentralized application that fractionalized NFTs. The first version of our smart contract was deployed in October 2020, and we were able to launch our marketplace and app in June this year. So if you go to nftfi.org and connect your wallets, you would be able to see our marketplace like that. So here we have all the NFTs that have been fractionalized so far with us. If you click here, for example, in this Jungle Lord, you would be able to see all the NFT details here, and you could buy the entire NFT, or you could trade some fractions here. And the interesting thing here is that you can create, buy, and sell orders. So, for example, if you want to buy some fractions, you click here, buy fractions. You can type, let's say, 50,000 fractions at a price of 0.00001 ETH per fraction. So you would be paying 0.5 ETH at a valuation of 10 ETH. So you simply create an order and wait for someone else to sell these fractions to you. Or you could simply click here on buy from an existing order here. So if you want to buy fractions, you click on buy and you type the amount that you want. For example, this one here, and I would pay and buy some fractions. And once I buy fractions, I would have a participation here. And if I want to buy the entire NFT, I would be able to use this participation as a kind of discount on this entire price here. So I wouldn't need to pay the entire reserve price. If I want to fractionalize, I come here to fractionalize, and I'll be able to see all my NFTs available in my wallet. So I click on one of them, and I would have two methods to fractionalize my NFTs. I have the fixed price, where you set the maximum reserve price for your NFT, and the highest bid, where you can set a minimum reserve price for your NFT. And once someone pays that price, it will trigger an auction for 24 hours or days, you decide. And you set the name, the symbol, the amount of fractions that you want to generate, and the reserve price here. Okay, so then you fractionalize, and your fractions will be available in our marketplace. Getting back to the presentation, we have a few competitors in this market now, and we believe that fractional is the main one, but we are highly capable of competing with them. One of the biggest advantages that we provide is that fixed price sale, which allows anyone to buy or sell fractions at a fixed price without having the need to create a liquidity pool, provide liquidity, and spend a lot of money on that. Besides that, we have our own token, our utility token, the NFTfi, which was initially designed to work as the main collateral in the pools containing fractions, allowing any liquidity provider in these pools to participate in the liquidity mining program that we have. And also, we will launch a staking program that all the stakeholders will be able to earn fractions of the most desired NFTs in our marketplace. We have developed some features so far, and we have just released a new one, which was the reserve price plus auction. That is a new method to fractionalize NFTs, allowing people to set that minimum price for it. And like I said before, once someone pays that price, it will trigger an auction for 24 hours or days, allowing others to bid on top of that price. Our revenue model is based on small fees charged in the platform, and these fees will be used as incentives to our community, being distributed as rewards and in a buyback and burn mechanism for the NFT token. This is the core team, the co-founders. We have been working together for more than a year now. We are a solid group composed of engineers, computer scientists, blockchain experts, highlighting our CEO, Leonardo, who is a second-time founder and has been in crypto for 4 years, and our CTO, Rodrigo, who is a PhD from Yale University, and he's our smart contract developer. Our broader team provides UX, engineering, sales, and various expertise, as well as powering one of the largest communities of people learning and engaging crypto here in Brazil, which is Escola Crypto. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. This is Nft.
Hello, everyone. My name is Afik. I'm the co-founder of Paras. Today, I'd like to introduce to you to our new product called Comic by Paras. We develop and support crypto natives IP. So what is Comic by Paras? Our goal is to create something beyond the digital comic. As we know, there are two types of comic existing currently. The first wave of comics is called physical comics. The ownership of physical comics is truly great because each purchase means that the collector could actually own the comic book. They could touch it, they could put it in shelves, and they can transfer it to, and they can lend it to their friends or to their families. But then the accessibility for physical comics is not truly awesome because what can be consumed in America might not be able to be consumed by kids in Indonesia. And then the usage for these comic books is not really awesome either. It is practically a comic book, but that's it. And then the new wave of comics coming in, we see the surge of digital comic platforms currently. The problem with digital comic is that the ownership of this comic is not really awesome, simply because we rely too much in third-party publisher. So when this publisher is running out of exclusive contract for the title, or when they shut down, each purchase made by the reader will be gone forever. You cannot read the comic unless you save it on your local storage or on cloud. But then the accessibility for this digital comic are truly awesome, simply because it is portable, and then anyone from any part of the world could access the same medium and same content as anyone else. But then the usage problem is not solved at all because it's practically converting what's physical into digital. So how do we tackle this problem? We offer one solution, which is all comics in Paras are published with NFTs technology and smart contract capabilities. What we are doing is we are combining the best of the two worlds and created something even more than just a digital comic. What we are offering is that we offer true ownerships. Since every chapter is tethered to blockchain and NFTs technology, each unique NFTs represent a true ownership for the collectors. And then because it's unique NFT, it can be resold and it could be lent to their account as well. And then we offer zero maintenance costs because all our comics are digital. Practically every single comic will always in mint condition. No more hassle on keeping your comic in mint condition. And then we introduce exclusive community and open interaction. What we are doing is that we would like to close the gap between the authors and the readers, in which we would like to enable them to interact with each other. We would like them to talk with each other and share their thoughts regarding the comics. And then we introduce unique experience through NFTs collectibles, which means that in the future, we are assuming that we could create something more than physical comic. Instead of selling chapters, we will sell each panel. So even when it is pirated, each panel will still consist of will have the name of the collectors in it. So can we actually build this? The team that built Comic by Paras is the same team that built Paras Marketplace. Paras is currently the biggest NFT marketplace in NEAR. We have $300,000 in GMV and 155,000 collectibles sold since our inception day. To be more specific, here's our team. Ricky is the founder of Paras. He builds hackathon-winning apps for NEAR, Sia, and Blockstack, and he already record $10K plus in Gitcoin earning. I myself is a literature enthusiast and passionately participated in local theater groups and the film community. And I've been collecting comic books since I was a kid, even until now. Stephanie and Linda both are very well experienced in comic industry. Stephanie is a scriptwriter with a successful Kickstarter light novel project, while Linda is a project manager with 3+ years experience managing Korean webtoon publishing company. So our team complements each other really well. We have the passion for the project. We have the mind to build the platform. We have people who are actually experienced in dealing and managing multiple artists and titles. So the market. We have two big markets that we like to tackle at the same time. The first market is comic readers. The market size for this part is around $8.2 billion with 60 million plus online readers. And the second market is crypto natives. As we know, in crypto NFTs, we already record $2.5 billion in sales volume during the first half of 2021, and it will exponentially get bigger and bigger the more we introduce more utilities and then use cases in the future. So what about the business model? It's very simple. Paras will take 5% commission on every transaction. This will include the first market and then aftermarket sales. And then what's going on with the platform? Currently, we already locked 4 exclusive and original IPs to publish in Paras. For reader side, we already have 500+ emails opt-in for product launch. And this 500 emails opt-in are our ideal users, which means that they are both crypto natives and they are also comic readers in Web 2. And then enter Paradigm. So Paradigm is our first comic title inspired by Pillars of Paras collection, sold out in 12 hours with $75K in sales. And this comic will be the standard for any comic to come. This will be the benchmark for all comic titles released on our platform. So this is a snippets of the working IPs by multiple artists on Paras. We have artists who work with Western comic style. We have artists who is working with manhwa, which is Korean comic style, and also manga as well, which is Japanese comic style. And here's our timeline. On August 2021, we finished our development. So on September, we already have like private alpha. We send our platform to several people. We would like to have private beta next and then public access. On October 2021, we would like to have marketplace integration, which is we would like to integrate the comic platform with our current marketplace, which is Paras. And on November 2021, we will introduce exclusive community for all the titles in our platform. And by December 2021, we project that we would have 5,000 active users, which is 10x from our emails opt-in. So this is our backers for our marketplace. We have multiple VCs already back us up and several angels from notorious projects like Near Protocol and YGG. And for the next round, we are planning to do initial DEX offering. We will offer 2.5% of our total supply. We will conduct this on September 2021. The exact date is 14 September 2021. It will be done natively on Near. It's on a platform called Skyward Finance, and we will do it with streaming time-based auctions. And that's it for our presentations. We look forward to have more meaningful talks with you. Thank you very much.
Hi, My name is Nathan. I am a co-founder at Fractio and Chief Technology Officer. Fractio is the premium NFT toolkit that empowers digital creators to push the boundaries of what an NFT can become by creating dynamic NFTs linked to real-world data, all without the need for code. What makes us special? Well, we are made up of a diverse group of co-founders that all wear different hats. We met at the Chainlink Hackathon for 2021 spring, and we won the NFT section. We are made up of Danny, who is our CEO and our business developer. Aaron is our DApp engineer who has 20 years of experience in software developing and digital graphics. I'm the CTO. I handle code audits and all technical programs like how to monetize our platform and keep it safe. And as we all know, community is key, which is why we have Luel, who leads our community, and he has worked at some of the largest pharmaceutical companies. So dynamic NFTs are hard to create. First off, if you don't know what a repository is for code, you're kind of already out of luck. Even if you wanted to create a piece out of code for your NFT tied to off-chain data, you need to know about oracles. And lastly, if you want these NFTs to be stored indefinitely, you need to know how to set up decentralized storage servers. And all these are some of the technical challenges that we are solving at Fractio. Okay, so you might be asking, if we are in a crypto bull run, an NFT bull run at that, how do we stack up against our competitors? And how do we realize this future? We've done our homework, and we know there are a lot of different tools out there. And in every gold rush, there's going to be someone who is selling picks and shovels and simply saying our picks and shovels are shinier and stronger. So for any creator that wants to be a part of this gold rush, you can come join us at Fractio. I'd like to give you a little background on NFTs. So today's NFTs markets consist of platforms like OpenSea, Rarible, Nifty Gateway, and they all have one drawback. They all live out any customizations of NFTs. They're static and there's no extra features. Right now, NFTs are in their Gen 1 stage. But with our editor, Fractio wants to bridge the gap to Gen 2 NFTs. Gen 2 NFTs are dynamic NFTs that change based on the data or real world events that occur. Other platforms with Gen 1 NFTs, for example, is platforms like NBA Top Shot, who have NFTs that have highlight reels of NBA athletes that are already minted that can't be changed or updated. So fans who use our platform will be allowed to have NFTs of their favorite athletes that have their stats updated all in real time. And so what are our competitors doing? Well, the gatekeepers are limiting the creation of NFTs. You have to reach out to through these platforms through contact forms. They limit you on the traits, and the entry for a project, it's pretty hot. So it's pretty limited. And so our solution is we are decentralizing the nature of access to dynamic NFT creation. Never before has there been an open editor for creating dynamic NFTs. We believe in giving creators superpowers to create permissionless and rich dynamic NFTs. So on our platform, we have a user interface that people can use to interact with and work on multiple layers and use our existing infrastructure of oracles and IPFS nodes. And you can do all of this all without the need for coding. We have an example here who you'll see Mark, who came to us with his problem, and he had nowhere to go to solve this. He wanted to have 500 layers changed due to the respective time. And you can't do that anywhere except for Fractio. And so what do some of these things look like? So on our platform, you can create dynamic digital art that can let a rocket go to the moon based on an Oracle price feed data that changes at every new layer. So the rocket can go up if the price of ETH goes up, and if the price of Ethereum goes down, the layers in the photos for the NFT will change based on that as well. What else can you do on our platform? For musicians or artists, you now have the ability to create dynamic music albums on our editor. So for example, artists can have hidden tracks on tokens they mint, and only the fans who have purchased these tokens have access to these hidden tracks. One of the reasons that this is important is because for artists who throw events, there is a surprise and spontaneity. As fans, you're waiting for something to happen. If something happens, the community as a whole is rewarded. And so who is doing this? Well, turns out a lot of people. In our first few weeks, we've seen our numbers grow exponentially in terms of total minted NFTs on our platforms. And there are a ton of unique users that come back each week to mint more NFTs. So right now, you will see two of our good friends, Hansel and Benjamin, and they're telling us how much they love the concept and how much it resonates with them on an emotional level. And this is key for Fractio because we believe if we can capture the imagination of our users, we can capture their wallets and the market. But how big is that market? Well, we are entering the NFT art and collectibles market, which has a market cap of 0.5 billion and a total of 30K active wallets weekly. And once we get there, we also believe in expanding that space to include Web2 users who may not understand the complexity of Web3, but Fractio makes it ridiculously easy. We want to onboard individuals who want to create dynamic, permissionless, and limitless NFTs. And so where do we go next? Well, we would like to expand beyond just art and find other places where off-chain data, dynamic ability, and with the power of the Web3 ecosystem, we believe those places exist in gambling, sports, ebooks, and entertainment. So now as we start to penetrate these markets, what does that mean for our business? Well, our business model is pretty simple. We have different price points for the advanced user, designer user, and agency user. So as long as any persona finances the NFT creation method, we take cuts off the sales as well as any upside. Thank you guys. And I will be giving you a demo of our website.
Hi, I'm Aaron from Fractio. This is our website, and let me scroll through it real quick. Down here, you can enter your wallet address and catch an NFT newsletter or also a normal email newsletter. In order to catch the NFT newsletter, you have to visit east.chat and sign up. And there you can just simply sign up, connect your wallet, and you can receive messages on the Ethereum blockchain. Very nice. Now you can order a token or create a token now. Let's look at the order a token. You simply tell us what your dynamic NFT is supposed to look like, and you can choose one of these preset selections, give it a title, and send us your ideas, enter some contact data, and just send that. Or create a token now, or you can, in future, choose between lots of presets. Right now, we're stuck to digital art. So I'm going to name the token Demo Token Live and give it a symbol DTL, and this token will moon. All right, now I'm going to choose a preset for Instagram so it fits seamless when I mint it and upload it there. And I'm going to choose a background. That's the deep background. We have a deep background and a closer. I can already search for, it's going to go to Saturn. And as soon as this arrives, I can scale it up and start uploading this file. And now I can move this. Yeah, perfect. Now I can scale the Saturn down to a size I want and position it somewhere up here, right in this line. Awesome. Now I can give the backgrounds a parallax effect. This background is going to move strong while this is going to move smooth. And now you see they move in different speeds, so to say. So the background is set, and now we can set the Oracle layer. Here I'm going to choose the Ethereum price feed, a whole list of price feeds I have. So I'm going to choose Ethereum for now. And I'm going to search a file that I'm going to tie to the Ethereum price. I'm going to use this rocket and upload it. And you see here we have these values. That's 20% below the Ethereum price. That's 120% of the Ethereum price. This is the actual Ethereum price. And now I can choose the slow state where the journey is going to start, so to say. And here I can choose the high state where the journey is going to end, and that's Saturn. And now I can scale down the low state. I want the rocket to be size scale 14. And this one is supposed to be 7 because it's far away. It's at Saturn. And now I can position them where I want them to be. I'm going to position this one right on Saturn. And this one's somewhere right down here in the corner. Because I'm going to place our planet somewhere here and another UFO or something. Let's see. All right. Now I'm going to search for our planet Earth, and I'm going to upload it, scale it down, and reposition it where I want it, somewhere down here, I said, huh? Yeah, our Earth is moving. It's all good. And I'll give it a nice, yeah, so it's moving along. No, I have to give it a different effect. Yeah, now it's a parallax again. All right, and now I'm going to choose the UFO and place that UFO, upload it somewhere, scale it down and position it somewhere right here. Give it a parallax effect too. So now things keep moving and are quite dynamic. In the next step, we can view our token in different states. Every state in between the low and the high state can be looked at. And now we can mint the token onto the Rinkeby testnet. And you can fill out a review. And since I've been manipulating a bit and press too much on the collectible button, I'm going to choose the dynamic music album once in a while. All right, now we can see that our token got minted on the Rinkeby testnet and see that on Etherscan. It's still indexing here. I'll come back and show you the token here first. This is the demo token Fractio DTFO. We just created it. And on Etherscan, we should be seeing this soon. This is Fractio. We are empowering digital creators to unlock the full potential of blockchain technology. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Hey everyone, welcome to Demo Day. My name is Tim and I'm from Nifty Royale, where we have created an NFT platform that distributes NFTs through gamified no-loss price pools. So the problem that we're trying to solve is that we're seeing auctions are quite prohibitive for collectors with average wealth to obtain rare NFTs. When an NFT collector first enters the space, they're usually more so drawn to collectible projects as they are much easier for someone to obtain due to the high quantity and low fixed cost of minting these collectibles. However, on the other end of the spectrum, you have one-of-one art, which is what we'll refer to as rare NFTs in this case. These are much harder for your average collectors to obtain due to the fact that they're most often sold through auctions. Now, auctions have a really high barrier of entry because of the high price that these auctions end up in. We're seeing on super rare that one-of-one art are generally being sold for on average of about 5 ETH, which is unobtainable for most collectors. This then leads to a low participation in the auctions due to the fact that, there's a psychological barrier for collectors to think, why even try if I'm just going to lose out in these auctions? This in turn creates a playground where only affluent collectors are able to obtain these rare NFTs. So the solution that we've came up with is a gamified NFT platform aimed to distribute a one-of-one NFT through a no-loss price pool. And how this works is that we'll work with an individual artist to curate a drop on our platform. And when we work with the artist, what we do is sell one piece of their artwork with multiple editions at a fixed price, similar to what these collectible projects are doing, so that this is more obtainable for a lot of different collectors. And when a collector purchases these NFTs, and this is what we'll refer to as base NFTs, these base NFTs are actually then going to be entered into a fully on-chain chance-based battle royale. Now, with the battle royale, what happens is all the NFTs will be entered, and then one by one, they will be randomly eliminated until there is only one NFT left. Now, the random eliminations are all done on chain, and we're using Chainlink's VRF technology to ensure that the source of randomness is tamper-proof and verifiable. And at the end of the battle royale, there will be only one NFT remaining, and that NFT will be crowned the winner and will be upgraded to the one-of-one NFT from the same artist. Meanwhile, everyone else that has been eliminated, they do get to keep their original NFT that they purchased. So this in turn creates a no loss price pool where everyone still gets to keep their art, but has a chance of, winning the one-of-one NFT. And the one-of-one is only obtainable through winning the battle royale. We're seeing that this is a much more interactive and engaging way to distribute the one-of-one NFT compared to auctions. In auctions, you're essentially just staring at a clock, trying to put in a bid before the auction ends. However, with our battle royale format, what we're seeing is collectors are really interacting with each other throughout the battle, trash talking against one another, hoping that their NFT wins the whole battle, and also just engaging with the artists themselves. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to show you a quick demo of how our platform works. So right here, this is the Nifty Royale website. On the homepage, you'll see each of the different curated drops with different artists. Our last drop features King Connie, done by EJ Hassenfrant, and this was sold out. So in this case, we'll go to one of the drops that hasn't been sold out to show you the flow of how purchasing in the battle kind of works. So we're going to go through and click the Surreal Serpent drop. In this drop, this is the drops page for the Surreal Serpent drop. You can see the base NFT that is available for sale at a fixed price. Collectors are also able to preview the upgraded NFT, the one-of-one version that they could potentially win. In this case, it has added animations and colors to the original base NFT. You can also view the NFT description, artist description, as well as the verified contract address. When the user checks out using MetaMask, they will then have their NFT entered into the battle royale, and you can access that through the battle page for the drop. Now, this battle page will show you all the NFTs that have entered into the battle royale for that drop. This battle hasn't started yet, but at any point during the battle, you are free to purchase or sell any other NFTs in this drop. So you can do so by clicking the buttons here, making an offer, and this will actually lead you to OpenSeas, which acts as a secondary sales marketplace for Nifty Royale. I'm going to now show you a quick video about how the platform looks like through the elimination process. And in this scenario, we have 4 NFTs in the battle. The red border around this NFT signifies that I currently own this NFT. So we're going to go through the elimination rounds and show you what that kind of looks like. As the timer counts down, once it hits 0, it will then trigger an elimination that is done completely on chain. Now, as I mentioned previously, the eliminations utilize an on-chain random generator for tamper-proof and verifiable random eliminations. As you can see here, token ID 3 was the first to be eliminated. We're now going to go through and complete the rest of the eliminations. Now you can see my token ID 4 had been eliminated. Now, if I were to still want a chance to win the one-of-one, I can then go ahead and make an offer at token ID 1 and token ID 2. And if they accept my offer, I essentially have another shot. And now finally, token ID 2 has been eliminated and token ID 1 is crowned the winner and is upgraded to the one-of-one NFT. I'm going to now show you what the completed battle looks like on our platform. So in this case, this was a drop we did with Ted's Little Dream. There were 39 NFTs that were in the battle, and in the end, token ID 12 was the winner. As you can see here, everyone else's NFTs still remain, and if you click on it, you'll see the original artwork. The cross over here is only shown on our UI. And the winner has theirs upgraded to this beautiful animated version of the fox. And if you can see here, they've actually put up this one-of-one NFT for 50 ETH, whereas they bought in at 0.12 ETH. And that concludes a little demo for Nifty Royale. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the current traction that we've been able to get with our platform. We've really been able to nail down the creator side. They really like what we're doing. So we've been able to attract some really big artists, including Lush Sucks, who's a famous Australian street artist who's been featured in Australia's 60 Minutes before. We've also got Ted's Little Dream, who's a famous Photoshop artist, and he's been featured on the cover of Photoshop magazine. Finally, we also have a drop upcoming with Kindlegraph, who is one of the original NFT artists who entered the space. He's seen as a pioneer and has inspired countless others to enter the NFT space as artists. So when we first launched in July, we were able to hit around 11th ETH in gross sales revenue. And that number rose to be around 15 ETH in August. Currently this month, we're sitting at 14 ETH, and we're hoping to finish strong with selling out the drop that we currently have and hoping to hit around 16 ETH. And from there on, we want to continue to work with top artists and try to grow our revenue by 5% each. So the insight that we've gotten throughout all this is that we're seeing community really drives up the value of NFT projects, but auctions prohibit this community building. You're often siloed and it's just you against the computer. Therefore, we're aiming to build up a community through our platform, which will enable collectors to obtain rare NFTs while engaging with one another. What's next to come for Nifty Royale? Well, the first thing that we want to focus on is to migrate to Polygon. Currently, we are on Ethereum mainnet, and the high cost of gas means that it's really costly for us to run this fully on-chain game on mainnet. Therefore, we're looking to migrate to Polygon so that we can reduce the cost and increase the payout to artists and ourselves. Next, we then want to work on game mechanic updates for our Battle Royale game. Right now, it is a chance-based game, and we want to add ways for collectors to be able to strategize and to create an even more engaging experience than what we have already. So some of the things we want to work on is features such as resurrection, giving players the ability to bring back their eliminated NFTs at a certain point during the battle, or things like a shield, where it will protect your NFT from a certain elimination round. We want the creators to be able to dictate which mechanics they want to include for their drops, so it creates a unique experience each time for collectors. Next, we then want to focus on interoperability with third-party NFTs to enter the battle on our platform. So what this means is currently we're only able to run the battles with the NFTs that we mint. However, we do want to then open up and have people to be able to bring in their NFTs, such as collectibles or even music represented by NFTs, bring those into our platform, and then for us to then run a Nifty Royale battle with those third-party NFTs. Then finally, what we want to do is then open up the whole thing so that anyone can have the ability to run their own Nifty Royale drops or battles once we finish the automation process of setting up the battles for everyone. Now to talk a little bit about the team. Currently, the team is just myself as the CEO and co-founder of Nifty Royale. Before working at Nifty Royale, I had worked at Dapper Labs as a product manager for the Flow blockchain team. And previous to that, I worked at Connor Clockland Financial Group as a systems analyst and systems developer. So I come from a technical background and transitioned into product. Thank you very much for listening to my demo about Nifty Royale. We would love to have you check out the platform and participate in our drops and battle at niftyroyale.com. Please also check us out on our social media on Twitter and Discord. As well, we are hiring. I would love to have some people that are passionate about this idea come help work on this with me. I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Michael, and I'm one of the co-founders at Chester. Today, we're going to showcase what we've been building over the past few months and throughout Tachyon. So we're building Chester, a community-powered create-to-earn platform for digital artists. So first, let's start with this chart. Unless you're living under a rock, we realize that we're in a booming space right now. So we believe NFT applications are going to drive the biggest creative economy we've seen in history, and we're just getting started. But the flip side of the story is that emerging creators are drowned out with little exposure in sales. So we've talked to hundreds of creators in the space, and this is consistently the #1 problem. By talking to them, one thing that became crystal clear to us is that while decentralization is supposed to put control back in the individual, most creators are not equipped to handle the promotion, technology, and business aspects of distributing their work. And just to put a number out there, in August alone, the top 20 project accounted for 70% of the trading volume, just 20 projects. And meanwhile, majority of these creators feel lost, and none of them that we've talked to believe that they can generate sustainable income in the space, even though they would absolutely love to. So we believe Chester can tackle this massive problem space, serving the long tail creators. So first, a little bit about our team. We've been obsessing and observing over this distribution problem in the space for a while. I myself have been following crypto since 2016. We have a solid team here where the three of us know each other really well. John and I are brothers. Sofiane and I are former colleagues at a high growth YC-backed startup. The three of us have a technical background with complementary skills. And in addition to our core team, we also have a team of three volunteer creators who are really helping us with the community side of things. So our first solution to the distribution problem is through community curated loot boxes. We call them mystery chests. So in each series, the sellers each contribute an NFT to be bundled and sold alongside each other. So normally the creators promote their own work, but it's hard to compete for collectors' attention, especially when you're new to the space or when you're not really good with marketing, right? So with Chester, we align individual efforts into joint efforts to promote outcomes that benefit all. On top of that, we can also add in other types of enticing content to sweeten the pot for general audience. And here's an example of how we can orchestrate the efforts of individual creators. So in this case, each chest is priced at the average value of the underlying NFTs. And since not every piece in the series has equal value, we can also provide bonus content to fill out the value differences. And here's a quick preview of an actual series that we ran back in August. In this case, we featured 27 individual creators, and each of them submitted an individual piece of work to be sold alongside each other. On top of that, we also put in a spotlight collectible, which is the Bored Ape Kennel Clubs that I suppose most people here already know. And each chest was priced at 0.3 Ether, and all 28 of the chests were sold out in 2 hours. So now from this success, what we learned was that collectors who participated in the series really enjoyed the process of content discovery. They love being connected to creators that they otherwise would have never discovered. And on the community side, creators are thrilled that we're developing solutions that target the pain points specifically about discovery and distribution. Taking a step back, since the start of Chester, our focus has been on community development. This has really allowed us to create a strong foundation of supply of ideas and content. And from there, we have a range of support programs like curations, gas fee sponsorships, bounties. And our goal there is to offer more ways to help out creators in the space. And then we can build mutual trust over time. So as we help them participate in the creative economy without having to rely on direct sales right off the bat, we realize that when we invest in the people and add value to their lives, they reciprocate. So through this collaborative approach, we're able to engineer moments of serendipity where we align individual efforts to promote outcomes that benefit all of us, which is really powerful. Our starting point is to focus on creators of arts and collectibles who also collect NFTs themselves. We realize that these people are often highly engaged in communities, they are resourceful, and they plan to stick around for a long time. So we're focused on building our community around these people. We help them succeed, and over time we build trust, and that's our wedge into the market. So from then on, we will start to cover creators and collectors with different levels of experience. We'll go after the arts and collectibles segments, which currently account for roughly 80% of the trading volume in the space. But we think that as NFT adoption continues to gain pace, the addressable market will evolve to encapsulate the majority of the creative economy, where a lot of other types of assets and activities can take place in. And that's what we're going after. So what's next? We have a second drop going on now, where we're collaborating with Super Nifty Fan, which is a project created by Shikai Ohasama, co-creator of Google Earth and a reputable collector in the NFT space. Quite exciting. This is a series that's bigger and badder, where we provide a more diverse type of content. And after that, going forward, we'll continue to experiment with more ways to involve the community to achieve outcomes that benefit all. And ultimately, we want to create a community-powered platform for digital artists to monetize their work sustainably, for them to really participate in the creative economy in more ways than just direct one-off sales. And we're just getting started. So there you have it. If you're interested in what we're doing, check us out on Twitter or Discord, or just reach out to us directly through Telegram or email. We're always happy to jam on ideas and to answer questions. Thank you.
All right, we're back. So that closes out our NFT group of companies. Before we get into the third wave, we're going to bring up an alumni, Jonathan from Mintgate, to tell you a little bit more about what they've been up to. So stick around.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Dunlap, and I'm the CEO of Mintgate. Mintgate empowers communities to become their own crowdfunding platform. The projects can be supported through the sale of early access tokens, which unlock exclusive content over time to its holders. We believe our platform can transform the creators' economy, where producers, contributors, and supporters can all work together in a value-sharing, positive-sum ecosystem. We started our journey at Gitcoin Kernel, where the 5 of us founders all got together in an online hackathon. It was there where Tachyon identified our team and brought us into the accelerator. There, we learned the valuable skills and traits to be a successful team and to learn from the industry leading experts through a wide network of mentors. We're so excited to announce that we are having a partnership with Rarible Protocol and the Rarible DAO, that we've recently launched support for token minting with a robust royalty system for creators. We now support native 4K movie content that can be token protected, as well as audio content and ebook support. Recently, we also launched support for custom platform theming and custom domain support. And we're super excited to soon support launching on Polygon as well as near in the future. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy Demo Day.
Okay, let's keep it moving. Thank you, Jonathan. So we're going to go right into our third wave. These are our gaming, social, and metaverse companies. I'm really excited for this. I know many of you have been excited about this group as well. So let's start with one of our first teams within the metaverse. Let's bring up the Mona.
Hey there. Mona is a metaverse for high-end 3D art. What and why we're building is dependent on who we are and where we come from. We have the perfect team for what we're building. We're 3 best friends for over a decade with relevant domain experience. Justin is an amazing 3D AR artist, previously at DreamWorks and Magic Leap. Right now, his work is featured on billboards in Los Angeles for Snap. We have Alex, the Harvard Blockchain Innovation Fellow, multiple-time founder and inventor of the private key recovery system, and what engineer called the best engineer they've ever worked with. And myself, I'm a multiple-time founder, inventor on a dozen AR patents, and landed a database on the moon. Now, our collective domain experience informs our view of the future. And our view of the future is that humanity is going to spend a lot more time in virtual worlds than in physical worlds. And you're already seeing that now with phones. Teens are spending up to 9 hours a day on their phones, and that's a pre-pandemic statistic going back to February 2020. And it's not just phones. Kids like my nephews are socializing, playing, and learning in virtual worlds like Minecraft, Fortnite, and Roblox. And what comes next will be even more immersive. Metaverse societies like the one imagined in Ready Player One, the Ernst Cline novel. Now, this infrastructure for these virtual societies like Ready Player One is finally here. Is about to launch a headset. Facebook has 30% of their workforce in the metaverse. They call themselves a metaverse company. And Snapchat launched a headset this summer. Now, these virtual worlds are modeled by amazing 3D artists. The metaverse is dependent upon their art. The artists make the virtual objects, skins, and environments, and they're not getting a fair cut of the use of their creations, except for on the high end. Now, high-end 3D art looks something like this. This is a high-end piece of architecture called the Mars House, which is minted as an NFT. It's sold for $500,000 by an amazing artist named Krista Kim. And you're looking at the NFT, which is a pre-rendered 2D video of the Mars house. It couldn't be experienced natively in existing Web3 solutions. It can only be experienced in low poly environments like this. And artists think it makes their art looks like shit. It's like telling Da Vinci he can only display the Mona Lisa in Minecraft. It doesn't make sense. And now the top NFT artists and creators are already using 3D tools, but they need to flatten their work into a 2D mediums, resulting in a devaluation of their work and lost economic value. These are artists that are making experiential art that can't be experienced. Until now, we're changing that with Mona. Mona is an easy to access, social, museum quality metaverse space. Think of it as a world of art for the art world. Now, there is urgent demand for spaces like this. For the over 1,000 3D NFT artists minting NFTs today, they crave this, right? And it's growing really fast. We're starting hyper niche with 1,000 of those 3D creators and expanding naturally into the 3,000 3D or AR creators like Justin, who aren't getting paid fairly. And then we're going to grow into the millions of 3D game devs and architects who are designing AAA game titles like Fortnite and Call of Duty. Now, how Mona works, it's really simple. We're building these high fidelity 3D NFT environments that are completely customizable by the artists using their existing 3D creation workflows. These rooms are designed to be social. Artists can host new drops or meetups or even private studio tours. These rooms can be wired up into composable galleries and eventually worlds. And these rooms will have a novel royalty system for artists. Think Spotify streaming rights for virtual objects. Now, Mona is to crypto voxels what Super Rare is to OpenSea. That's where we're aiming for this. And we know we're not building a silo. We've designed Mona to be interoperable across the Web3 ecosystem, to work with DAOs and marketplaces and even other metaverses. And we're about to launch our Genesis Gallery with amazing artists that have a large social reach. And at Mona, we believe the future is the metaverse, and the metaverse is 3D. And that's the world we're building to. And so we hope you'll join us. And let's dive right into the Mona metaverse. So here we are. Welcome to Mona. Mona is a beautiful world of art for the art world. We're here in the Genesis Gallery, which is an environment minted as an NFT, and we have our own avatar. This is a base skin that can be customizable. Now let's focus the viewer on a piece of art. Now this is a piece of photoreal art that's animated. Note the lighting, it's just fantastic. And that's the whole point of Mona, is to showcase these top quality art pieces, right? And now in the back here, we're going through some additional rooms that are connected to the main gallery space. These are also minted separately as NFTs. Now this room was built around a piece of art by an artist named Joseph Lee. Look at the textures on this painting, right? It really comes off the wall. And this room is an NFT. It can be accessed by itself with your friends socially. Groups of avatars can come in and join around a piece of art, or it can be attached to a gallery space like this. And this is like a Genesis gallery. And so we have another artist room connected. This is an artist named Da Vinci. She is a generative 3D crypto artist who grew these pieces of digital fashion using natural growth algorithms. And each dress is its own NFT that's linked to the room. The NFT is attached to the gallery. And in the future, these galleries can expand far beyond the art. But for now, we're here to honor great art by great artists. And we're really excited about it. We hope you are too. We hope you join us, and really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Joe Gonzalez. I'm the co-founder of Huddlin. Huddlin is a platform for creators and their audiences to connect and share the stories behind their NFTs. First, we're actually going to start with our grand vision. What we're noticing today is that protocols are currently being forced to develop their own dApps just to connect users to their services. And everyone's really starting from scratch. What we're witnessing right now is a user base issue that nobody's really talking about yet. Huddlin's vision is to solve this by becoming the consumer application layer of Web3, where users can bring and create NFT-backed content, essentially becoming a content metaverse. And where all these different DeFi, NFT, cross-chain protocols are now just features of one platform where there's a plethora of users. But to achieve this vision, first we are developing a product that people want to use today. So we spent hundreds of hours with different artists and creators trying to dissect what their biggest pain points in the NFT space are today. Some of these artists are in the top 50 sellers on OpenSea. And do you know where NFT creators are spending most of their time? You would think that it's creating their work, but it's actually promoting. Creators are promoting their work by narrating the journey behind their collections. They share their experiences, their stories behind these amazing collections, but they're not really capturing it. Right now, creators are bouncing around, retelling their stories over and over again, and it's really a content and distribution problem. We're focusing on tackling the content component first. So we developed a platform that connects you to your audience and lets you include the behind the scenes content. Everything you post on Huddle In becomes an NFT and is tied to your collection. So it travels with your collection in the metaverse, which ultimately helps in distribution as well. We are one of the first NFT social platforms available on the App Store. Not only that, we are the best NFT social platform for mobile. We have the cleanest UI. We have one of the simplest UXs. Everything is gasless. You don't even need to know what NFTs are. You don't need to know what blockchain is in order to use our platform. We're actually going to go into a quick little demo to show off a little bit. Here we go. So what you're looking at right now is what we call our social feed, which is a feed of all these different NFTs that are being minted on our platform. Any user can pop open the camera, start recording themselves, record something else, and use it just as if they would use TikTok or Instagram. But in the end process, it becomes an NFT. You can also tip other users to show your appreciation. And we just launched this sales feature so you can sell your stories now as well behind your collections. So from there, I actually want to talk about the team as well. So there's some history behind this stuff. Me and my wife founded Huddle In 2019 as a part-time project. It actually started off as a crypto meetup app. But when we were building it, we quickly realized we needed like a social layer, social component to help people discover new events and to get connected with people. And at that point, we realized there was no really good native Web3 platform to create this social graph with. And at that time, that's when we decided to pivot and actually try to become that Web3 social layer for other protocols and other platforms that want to distribute content, that want to plug in to an existing user base. Along the way, we built our team. Ash has been in the blockchain space since 2013, super rock star. Steven's actually a co-founder of Munchcoin, another crypto startup. And Joseph Vargas is our community lead. He has tons of experience rallying efforts and building communities. Once our platform went live, our community members started providing us with tons of feedback of different improvements and features that they wanted. And we released about 7 or 8 different updates from July to August, all based on the feedback that we've been receiving from our community. This has given us some early traction, but we're still in the early days. So our business model is pretty simple. Huddle In is successful when our users are successful. We have multiple avenues of income. Firstly, our marketplace will generate transactions. We're also looking to social tokens, protocol governance, and just having strong ties with different protocols. Our target market is pretty obvious. It's NFT creatives that want to capture and share the stories around their collections. We think that this group has the smallest learning curve and has the most motivation to create content around their artwork and around their creations. It's also the community that we have the closest tie to and that we're building this product for, so it makes sense. So here's our roadmap. This is for a 12 to 18 month roadmap, and it's split up in different phases. Our first phase is really launching our storytelling features and our marketplace integrations. So we've proven we can get to market, and we know where our beachhead lies, and we know the steps we need to take to reach a broader vision. We're already on this journey, and we're looking forward to seeing what stories you will tell in your next drop. Thanks.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Alexander Yosef, and I'm the founder of Infra Music. We are a social token platform that enables artists to directly monetize their community. And so before we get into it, just some background on us as founders. We have been in the belly of the beast when it comes to the music industry. My CTO and co-founder is an award-winning producer and composer with the Royal Opera House. Me, myself, used to manage a label, used to manage artists, and used to also do some consulting as well too. So when it comes to the music background, we spent our creative career in that. And then on the flip side, our professional's career was spent in big tech and crypto. Me, myself, I'm token economics as my expertise. And then also business development is the time that I spent at GitLab, decentralized exchanges like Coinvest as well too. And my CTO has built out NFT and DeFi platforms along with just being a coder, a really excellent coder for the past 7 years. And so when it comes to music, everybody hears that the music industry is broken, and we've kind of figured out what's going on, right? So every existing revenue stream is corrupted and outdated. So major platforms have created an oligopoly and artists are looking for a new business model. So essentially what's going on is everything from distribution, royalties, even concerts and merch are being handled by some type of intermediaries, which leads to really bad economics. And so an example of that is for every 1,000 artists, every 1,000 records, for every 1,000 records an artist sells, the artist receives only $23. And so that's pretty crazy. Another thing is that let's say you're an artist and you sell 1 million records or 1 million streams, right? You have 1 million streams on a song. You only receive $3,000. And so there's a lot of inefficiencies. And so instead of trying to recreate these old business models, we actually found a new way, which is introducing social tokens with utility. And so what we're doing is we are monetizing the actual relationship between the artist and fan. And so 2 things happen here. The fan receives what they already desire and want to pay for, which is a closer connection with the artist, unreleased content, and exclusive experiences. And when it comes to the artists, they get what they have been desperately wanting and looking for, which is continuous funding from their token and a new way to independently monetize outside the current system. And so when it comes to competing, we actually don't compete with the current infrastructure. We actually sit on top of the creator economy stack, the tech stack for the creator economy, and actually make these tools and the content that's already sitting on this platform a lot more valuable. And you will see that here in a second when I give you guys a demo. And so what we've created is a Web2 feel with Web3 money. And so our app will bring together crypto and music. And with that, we want to create a sleek UI to onboard all types of fans. And so we're actually going to jump over to a demo of the actual app that is on testnet right now. And so, yeah, this is info. This is what you guys will see when you first hop on, still under construction, but essentially you hop on here, you see your favorite artist. Let's click to Latasha, which is head of community at Zora. And so essentially you're able to buy her tokens, also stream her music. We'll have streaming later on. And then what comes after that is pretty cool. So you come on here, you buy her tokens. Let's input an amount and get buy. It goes to MetaMask. Bought 9 tokens there. I don't know if you guys are seeing my MetaMask, but yeah. So while we wait for that to go through, essentially the main utility here is that what can I do after I have these tokens? And so after you buy these tokens, what you will do is get access to whatever the artist wants you to get access to, quite frankly. And so that are things like unreleased music videos, unreleased songs, maybe a website where you could claim your free concert tickets. So that you see the transaction went through. So we have the tokens in our hand, but that could also be a live stream call like this, right? Where your favorite artist, Latasha or Drake says, hey, I'm having a Zoom call every Friday, but you need 10 tokens to hop on. You get the tokens, you hop on. If you don't, you can't really enjoy the experience. And so it gives you a way to share an experience and also share on the upside of the artist when the fact that you have a token. And so let's click on this link. It's going to read our wallet and check that we have 5 LTA tokens. This link requires 5 LTA tokens. We do. And so we're able to play the music video. And so essentially, this is the power, right? Making the content that's already on YouTube exclusive. And that gives the artist power by enabling them to just continue on with what they're usually doing, but add a monetization layer on that. And so when it comes to our competitors, we're really focusing on the fact that we're creating a utility token. This is an ERC20 token. So you could take this and build a whole new product with the tokens that you have. And then also we're using a bonding curve for those that are familiar. So early fans are rewarded. You know, a lot of people that, well, actually apps that do a good job of monetizing content and monetizing the relationship between the fan and the artist are Patreon and OnlyFans. But it's really one-sided, right? As a fan, you're throwing money into a black hole. And then we have people like Roll and Rally that are really doing a good job of making it double incentivized, right? With actually buying tokens. But you know, there might be some hardships when it comes to monetizing. And so what we want to do is fix all the problems that we've been seeing in a unique way. Our list of advisors and community members is really great because Jennifer Tran, co-founder of MintGate, has actually integrated, and MintGate has actually integrated with us. And so we're lucky to have them on board. And so when it comes to the market that we are going after, it is the SoundCloud and social token economy. And so these two economies really have a lot of things in common, which is the fact that they are bootstrapping themselves. They love finding new things and they're independent. But at the end of the day, what we're going to be playing in is a creator economy, which is at 144 billion. And so our beachhead really is come together quite nicely. Essentially, what we're going to launch with are Web3 musicians. These are musicians that are already selling NFTs. Their communities already have MetaMask. And quite frankly, they're generating a lot of revenue independently, which is pretty amazing. Collectively, these artists have sold 200 plus NFTs. We actually did a Inflow MintGate partnership NFT with Stones the Organic, which sold out in 1 hour, 11 NFTs that sold out in an hour. And basically everybody that got that NFT got unreleased music and was able to have unreleased music. And so people like Harrison First, which has had a social token back in 2019, actually hit 900K. And so what he was able to do, or what he would have been able to do if he was on Inflow, was actually capture the token fees that we give him from the token buys, and he would have made 120K. So how do we make money? And also realistic projections on where we're heading. And so 3% fee on every transaction. Artist gets 12%, we get 3% on every transaction. So every time somebody buys a token. Based on our trajectory and our analysis of the market, 25,000 artists is very realistic in 24 months. And so if each of those artists could have at least 1,000 fans to spend $100, then we can make $75 million in transaction fees. And so our greater roadmap is really based on providing more value for these tokens, right? So what we're going to do is launch a mobile app in Q1 of 2022, and then also launch the Inflow utility token as well. This will be governance as also DeFi as well. As you see here, with the bonding curves and with the collateral that we have, we're going to actually be able to have APY on people's money, on people's ETH and USDC. So actually earning for holding a token and an artist as well. So that is our greater roadmap. That is our vision. If you want to hop on board, get in contact with me for whatever reason, feel free to reach out at alexander@inflowmusic.io. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Viken, co-founder of BlockBets. At BlockBets, we help gamers earn money instantly on every game with the power of blockchain technology. We see great potential at the intersection of blockchain and gaming. There are already such successful cases such as Axie Infinity and SoRare, but our main focus is building a bridge between blockchain and our favorite games. By combining blockchain mechanics with online massive multiplayer games, we can onboard the next billion users to Web3. The biggest game titles are based on legacy revenue models, ad-supported models or freemium models, in which developers need to keep pushing new content in order to generate revenue from in-app purchases. We believe that play-to-earn is going to change all that. The problem is that our favorite games like Call of Duty and Rocket League were not built for play-to-earn. They do not have play-to-earn mechanics built into them. The other problem that we constantly hear from our beta users, and we interviewed hundreds of gamers, is that there is no easy way for them to monetize their skills. They get frustrated by relying on a third party and wait 48 hours or a week to receive a payment if they win a tournament. And we experienced that firsthand. By solving these problems, we believe the already huge gaming market can grow 2x or 3x, combining the engagement experience of gaming with blockchain mechanics. So our solution is a platform for online tournaments and wagers where everyone can compete and win prizes. We want to be the bridge to connect play-to-earn dynamics for all-time favorite titles. Guaranteed fair resolution and automatic payments gives us the frictionless experience that gamers want. So how it works? Let's say you're trash talking with your friends about who's the best Call of Duty player. You jump into block bets and set up a challenge or join a tournament together. And with one transaction, you can put your money where your mouth is. And after the gameplay ends, you get automatically paid. If you lose, double or nothing and see who wins in the end. We have a short video demo to show you the whole app flow. In this case, for one of our products, which is 1 versus 1 challenges, and playing Call of Duty, which is one of the first games that we integrated. In here, Fabian is inviting me. Fabian is the other co-founder of Blockbets. He's inviting me to a challenge. He's playing Call of Duty on PC, so he uses his web browser to use Blockbets, and all he has to do is input my username and the amount he wants to challenge me for, which in this case is 1 Matic. On my side, I'm playing Call of Duty on PlayStation, so I'm using my mobile to accept his bet, also by sending a 1 Matic value transaction. And that's it. All we have to do next is go play the game. For this demo, we're playing Call of Duty Warzone, which is a very popular game right now. We love playing this. And after the match ends, in this case, Fabian wins because he scripted this demo, obviously. We see him celebrating. And when he goes back to Blockbets, he already had his payment. He won this challenge. And in my side, in the losing side, I get prompt to double or nothing. So as you see, it's really easy, really fast, and really low friction. Obviously, Fabian and I are friends, and we could do this without Blockbets. But what is cool and powerful about our platform is that you can enter in a challenge with a complete stranger or for any amount, and be confident that the whole process is going to be transparent and secured by the blockchain. So from our research, we found 2 main insights. For one, is that gamers engage in skill-based challenges and competitions if provided a platform where they can trust the fair outcome, the settlement, and the payment process. And the other insight is that engaging in tournaments and challenges can be cumbersome and time-consuming. So a frictionless experience and automatic payments are highly valued features by gamers. In terms of our user traction, we had a recent mainnet deployment where we're having a private beta. For this beta, we're inviting gamers through our social networks and assist the onboarding process on Discord, especially for gamers that are not really familiar with Web3. And as you see in the graph, every week since our launch, we've been talking to our beta users, trying to understand what they like and what they would like to see in this platform, and then shipping new features and changes every week based on that interaction and that feedback. And we believe our traction is growing as a result of that process. This is a platform for gamers made by gamers. And as we move forward, we're getting ready to open this beta up for a bigger audience. For our product roadmap, as I was saying, we want to release this beta publicly, where we want to integrate new games and have an on-ramp feature. Later on, we will include NFT rewards as achievements and power boosters and all types of new dynamics to add value to our challenges. Later, we're launching a mobile app especially thinking on console players that do not have a web browser available. We want to launch our own token, which will allow us to have more play-to-earn dynamics and a roadmap for governance. And also that token will allow us to design an innovative anti-cheat system based on on-chain dispute and resolution mechanisms to address another big pain point for the gaming community, which are cheats and hacks on some of the games. The gaming market obviously really huge and growing fast in all the relevant KPIs. As of 2020, the esports market reached 12 billion, and it's growing at a projected rate of 13% for 2021 through 2026. We're a team of longtime friends. We have great trust and communication flow. I come from a telecommunications background, but have been building for many years. Fayan is a full stack software engineer. He has great experience on mobile. And we share an experience on Web3, shipping code for DAOs and other Web3 projects. And we're really passionate about crypto and gaming and where the industry is heading. And we actually started thinking about this back on 2020 when lockdown started, because we had some spare time to play games and keep in touch with our friends through gaming. And we started looking for a platform to play for real value, for real money. And we really couldn't find a product that we like. So we decided to build it ourselves. And we did it for the hackathon that was coming up. And we ended up building the product that we wanted to use. Just some contact information. This is what I had to share today with you guys. And if you are into crypto and gaming, come join us at Discord and join our beta, and we're waiting for you. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. I'm Sammy Bao, the founder of 0x Essential. I'm working on what's next in NFTs, and I'm passionate about digital asset portability. I'm interested in bringing composability and interoperability to NFTs, particularly to support metaverse gaming. Let's get started. 0x Essential is building permissionless and cross-project NFT gaming platforms. By leaning into positive sum models, we can build bigger platforms than closed, vertically integrated games while helping NFT projects diversify their revenue streams. Before we get into that, a bit about me. There's two main things I want you to know. First, I've seen a lot. I've been around the block. I've been in Web 2.0 startups for a decade. I was an early employee at VaynerMedia, and I've spent years in SaaS, including at a few of my own failed ventures. I'm a full stack web and mobile engineer, now programming in Solidity. I'm new to Web3. I only installed MetaMask in February. But the other thing I want you to know is I'm an extremely fast learner and, more importantly, builder. I put products in users' hands quickly, and I learn from them. So don't expect any white papers from me or 0x Essential. Expect fast, iterative cycles of shipping product. As a solo founder with some startup experience, I knew I should spend my time at Tachyon de-risking 0x Essential as a business, for investors, for employees, and for myself. So I've been working to identify a real and painful problem facing NFT projects. Look, NFTs are a party right now. It's hard to say there's anything necessarily wrong, but there will inevitably be a downturn. So a major problem on the horizon facing NFT projects is that they're relying on a single source of revenue for their operating budgets, secondary market royalties. When nobody's buying on OpenSea, these project devs might have to go get real jobs. Instead, I think we can help these projects establish an alternative revenue stream, and I think we can do this with low effort, high impact projects. 0x Essential will offer permissionless gaming platforms, spectacular developer SDKs and documentation, and play-to-earn revenue share. Rasslers is our first experiment with this model, a sort of Super Smash Bros. For NFTs. Before we hop into the game demo, let's touch on the tech a little bit. For our alpha release, we developed a cross-chain derivative minting process, so a user can choose any layer 1 NFT they own, and we mint a derivative on Polygon for them. What makes us all tick is the open source Rasslable contract. This returns a tuple of our Rasslin attributes, 6 integer-based attributes that describe a wrestler's skills and which are stored mutably on chain. This is a player's home locker room. I chose one of the Dudes NFTs as my wrestler. This is one of our original IP characters, Howler Dawes. We're developing an NFT collection of Genesis wrestlers to bootstrap the game and the fictional Metaverse Wrestling Federation universe. We're currently allowing users to upgrade their wrestler stats by spending Matic. In the future, this will be with our own RAS token. We were the first game to integrate loot. If you own loot bags, you can get free upgrades based on the bag's rarities in your wallet. The alpha includes single player versus blockchain CPU turn-based play. So let's jump back into a match I had started previously. The wrestling match contract chooses 3 random moves from our moves list that are available to a player. So I can go ahead and choose one of these moves, and that performs an on-chain transaction. We're using Polygon, so move transaction fees are pretty reasonable. The attacker's stats, move stats, and defender stats all combine to determine an HP hit. Once the move is mined, the contract emits an event, and we pick that up, display player 1's move, and then the CPU move right away, and then it's your turn again. We launched this alpha experience on August 19th. The goal of the experiment was to find out if people wanted to actually do stuff, play games with the NFTs they already own. We got some people to connect and play, not as many as we'd hoped, but we were pleasantly surprised with the Matic spend to upgrade stats when there was zero incentive to do so. Some of the feedback we received from collectors was that without any profit incentive, the game just wasn't interesting to them. So next we did a giveaway event where each victory in the game earned the player a raffle ticket to win a loot bag NFT. We saw quite a few more wallets connect and matches per user shot up. There are some UX challenges in playing alpha matches. You need Matic on Polygon, can be a challenge to get. We'll do meta transactions eventually, but for now we're counting anyone who started at least one match among our active users. These users on average have played more than 4 matches and spent more than 3 Matic in the course of 3 weeks. Our next experiment removes the need for Matic to play and adds further incentive. We've partnered with another NFT wrestling project to run a tournament with pre-performed matches and big prizes. We touched on this earlier, but this is really important. Yes, I have a utopian vision for the future of digital property rights, but I want to be very clear. Permissionless gaming that utilizes positive sum Web3 mechanics will be more profitable ventures than vertically integrated walled gardens. Yes, it's great to be able to sell in-game assets freely, but when anyone can make compatible assets, when anyone can make a game that uses the same assets with interoperable attribute properties, everything gets more valuable. The compatible assets, the games, and 0x Essential as the standard bearer. We're creating these exciting compounding flywheels of value. That's quite a different vision of the future than companies like Epic or EA have, right? These companies aren't just going to give up their in-game asset revenue because the blockchain exists. They plan to continue to rent you digital assets from their vertically integrated walled gardens. On the other hand, 0x Essential wants you to truly own your digital property. For us, this means being able to utilize it in any experience you please. And we want to support the long tail of creators. Anyone should be able to craft a digital asset that conforms to standards and can thus be used in multiple metaverse experiences. On the other hand, 0x Essential wants you to truly own your digital property. For us, this means being able to utilize it in any experience you please. And we want to support the long tail of creators. Anyone should be able to craft a digital asset that conforms to standards and can thus be used in multiple metaverse experiences. The massive long-term opportunity is to build the pipes and the building blocks for the interoperable metaverse. I do think we can get there, but to start, we'll be more focused on proving the model. We'll use wrestlers as a beachhead to earn market share with crypto-native NFT projects and to be in the trenches ourselves, learning how to best build permissionless games. Building a successful game in partnership with popular NFT projects will position us well to be a viable Web3 on-ramp for legacy brands and celebrities. Think Zed Run and Stella Artois, but productized and scalable. The business model here starts to be less clear. Rasslers can be a huge property, I've no doubt. But this is when we might start thinking about other properties in a game studio model, or alternatively focus on being a steward of standards and pursuing a token-based business model. Ultimately, I do believe the bigger and less risky business is in selling picks and shovels. Games are two-hit based, but proving out the power of permissionless gaming and navigating the fast-changing blockchain space through Rasslers will best position Zero Existential to be the standard bearer. That's all a long ways off, so here's what our immediate roadmap looks like. We're live with our alpha and working on things like a tournament mode. We're just about ready to drop our own Genesis Rasslers NFT collection, but we want to be a bit different than your typical PFP project. We want to launch with day one gaming utility. So we started work on our player versus player game lobbies, live presence, random matches, challenging other users, and we plan to release that by Q1 2022. Then we'll get to work on play to earn mechanics and RAS tokenomics, introducing those mechanics in Q2. And throughout it all, we'll be working on finding the best way to integrate partner projects, whether that's derivative tokens like we've done in the alpha, or using some cross-chain migration support like Vitalik has proposed, or using something like DIDs. By Q3, we'll be ready to start onboarding partner projects and sharing revenue with them. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate you being here. You can find me on Twitter via Sammy Bao. It's Bao, it rhymes with Dow. Check out Rasslers at rasslers.com. We'd love to have you play some matches. Let us know how you like it. And reach out to me at sam@ZeroXessential if you'd like to go deeper on permissionless gaming platforms for NFTs. Thanks again. Take care.
Okay, so that closes out our third wave. Before we get to our fourth and final wave of demos, we want you to hear from a few alumni. So building in the gaming space and the social space and the metaverse space and building consumer applications is no small feat. So we're extremely proud of the companies that have come out of our previous cohorts that are doing just that. So we're gonna let you hear from Leon from _ Labs and Ayush from Huddle 01 to hear what they've been up to since leaving Tachyon.
Hello world, Leon here from _ Labs, and we build tools to connect game engines to the blockchain. Now this idea started as a hackathon project, but luckily Tachyon saw potential. They gave us the right tools, resources, and people to build this out, and within 1 year, we got acquired. But what gets me excited is that people using our tools are able to put food on the table, and I owe a lot of that to Tachyon. Now if you get the opportunity to join, go for it. It's tough, it's brutal, but you won't regret it. Best of luck.
Hey everyone, my name is Ayush and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Huddle 01. At Huddle 01, we are building world's first video conferencing platform powered by blockchain and Web 3.0. Here, you can do all the things which you do with your current video conferencing platforms, but better, faster, and safer. For example, all your recordings get stored over IPFS and Filecoin, which is cryptographically secured. Your live streaming happens via live peer, which is way more cheaper. And you can log in via DID solutions, which is much more safer. We are live and both on the platform as well as the SDK. So if you're a developer and want to build using Huddle 01's SDK, some really cool video conferencing solutions or any real-time communication solutions, feel free to use Huddle 01's SDK. So moving on, Huddle 01 actually took birth and actually got the initial ignition during the early days of Tachyon when they took us in. They provided us with the ignition in terms of capital, mentorship, one-on-one sessions, and whatnot. The best part which I liked about Tachyon is that the teams, each and every members focus on customer obsession. Tachyon pushed us to do a lot of customer interviews. Because of that, we were able to refine our initial customer profile and map out our user personas. Because of that, we were able to lock in a couple of educational tech clients even during the phases of Tachyon. This was really helpful for us, and it shaped me as a founder in understanding what is the most important thing. That really gave us the acceleration and ignition to get the genie out of the bottle and make a product which is one of the best out there, and show to the world that a Web3 infrastructure product could be better, faster, and cheaper. We are coming up with something more exciting now for NFT artists and creators. It includes virtual backgrounds, which means that now your backgrounds doesn't need to be a normal plain blank or any kind of wallpaper. It could be an NFT art. Your waiting rooms would be customizable now. That means the waiting rooms, you don't have to stare on a blank screen, but it would be something where an NFT art would be there. There are much more things which are coming up, and I would like for you to visit huddle01.io to know more. Or you have any questions, collaborations, want to reach out as a collaborator partner for anything, reached at ayush@huddle01.com. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we are racing towards our fourth and final cohort wave. You are definitely going to want to stick around for these companies. These are the infra, dev tools, and automation companies. And you're getting ready to see some use cases that I think are really going to blow you away. I'm certainly excited about them. So let's bring up the first company within that group, please.
Hi, I'm Julien Noël, founder and CEO of CID Gravity. CID Gravity is building a second layer of trust between Filecoin stakeholders, de-risking their data, and increasing miner profitability. We are two old friends, entrepreneurs, addicts of new technologies, and we strongly believe that IPFS is the next revolution for storage. Florian is leading the development. He built his first startup developing an AI solution for CCTV and is now looking to combine AI and blockchain. I'm a Filecoin community leader, miner association representative, and developing Farcaster, the Filecoin real-time and analytic monitoring used by more than 400 miners today. I spent more than 20 years in new technologies and spent 10 years providing strategic advice to entity com C-levels. CID Gravity has been steeped in the Filecoin ecosystem by being one of the only Filecoin notary financially backed by Consensus and Protocol Labs. Also, building deep integrations through partnership with the two biggest brokers of the network, Textile and Estuary. By 2025, global datasphere will hit 175 zettabytes. Just for context, to store that amount of data, humanity will need to spin up 20 billions of new hard drives and build more than 150 nuclear reactors. This also represents 400 trillion transactions on the Filecoin network, which seems a lot, but it's even worse on Web 2, where most of the data is centralized today, which can only handle 5% of it. This will create a lot of demand for storage, and the decentralized web has the right primitive to attract client, decentralization, data verifiability, data ownership, and price. But there is still gaps for enterprise adoption that CID Gravity is bridging today. A decentralized future is difficult for enterprise due to the need of managing risk and regulatory compliance. Any enterprise faces the obligation to know their customers in the vast majority of countries like US, Europe, and China. Storage providers are enterprise. Today, they take the whole responsibility and an uncapped risk storing data for clients they don't know, from copyrighted documents to child pornography. They also need to know their clients to provide them specific terms and conditions and tailored pricing. On the other end, enterprise clients want to know their suppliers. They can't blindly trust storage providers, and they must keep control over data lifecycle and access. Enter CID Gravity experience. As a storage provider, manage your client identity, define tailored deal-making conditions, block untrusted clients that may expose your platform to service disruption and lawsuits. As a client, work with curated storage provider list, deal with them, keep control over your data with specific terms and processes. Automatically, we are offering this in a seamless way that never have been done before. Let me show you. This is the live platform of CID Gravity. To connect, you just need to authenticate with your GitHub account and get access to all the features. On the dashboard, you get relevant KPIs. As you can see here, this miner received more than 70,000 deals and close to 1,000 just in the last 24 hours. In the pricing menu, you visualize all the pricing models. You create pricing model that will be attached to clients. The default pricing model is a special one that applies to all unknown clients you may receive deals from. Let's take a look at one model. Instead of the very limited pricing structure provided by Lotus, here the pricing is very granular. You can create rules with conditions on type, size, duration, and set a price. You can create as many rules as you like. When a deal proposal comes in, it goes through all the rules from the top and stop on the first that match. If the pricing is correct, the deal is accepted. If not, the deal is rejected and the client is automatically informed of the correct price to set. Rules can be easily rearranged and removed. Once it's done, you can start creating new clients. Each client contains all his Filecoin addresses, a pricing model, and additional useful features that allow you to limit the number of deals this client can send per hour, block temporarily a client, and inform him of the reason. A maintenance mode is also available to temporarily stop accepting deals for any clients in a single click. You can blacklist clients you don't want to work with by entering their addresses. Deal history gives detail on the transaction that can be filtered in a very convenient way by clients, status, dates, etc. We provide a playground for testing the pricing models also. User satisfaction is the most important thing for us. We provide a help center to open case, a live chat, and a 5-minute tour for any new users so they are assisted to create and initialize the first setup and go through all the features to start dealing immediately. We build this simple and neat interface with the miner community. CID Gravity is designed to be used by technical and non-technical staff like account managers. It removes all the complexity of managing a miner and brings dozens of more new features. The traction is above our expectation. We onboard 2 sets of very active miners over the last 3 weeks, with 100% of retention and more than 160,000 deals analyzed. We locked all early adopters and Filecoin ambassadors through our first mover advantage, and we are building the new feature with them. The community is very excited. We already receive and plan more than 30 features requests with major ones from Textile and Protocol Labs. These numbers are relatively impressive, and we believe the Filecoin ecosystem will continue to grow. We have a low barrier entry to allow new miners to join the platform on a freemium basis. As they grow their usage, they will continue to need more deal analyzed and priced dynamically, but also advanced features like analytics, notification. This is where they upgrade to the premium, on which we collect a percentage base of our APIs. We've got a greenfield market. As the Filecoin network is entering stage 2, we are storing real data, incentivize more storage providers than simple minting. Decentralized storage is evolving day by day, and we've been here since day 0. We don't have competitors directly, but surely they will come in. But we are connected with all the miners and the Filecoin community. They trust us. We have built tools that help them way before CID Gravity. We care deeply about decentralized data and been here since the beginning. We want to build something amazing. If you're believing in where we are going and want to be part of the future, contact us and join the community. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Excited to be here. So this is Alex from Italy and the co-founder of Skill Wallet, a role-based NFT identity system that unlocks the true potential of Web3 communities. Now, Web3 communities are DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, that brought in a brand new Web3 native form of interaction between individuals, where not only they can communicate with each other, but they can coordinate, they can work together in a fully decentralized and permissionless way. The issue with that is that it's still very disorganized and it's very confusing for members to even understand what to do after they join the new community. They need to go through hundreds of messages just to find their place in the community itself or find tasks that they can work, contribute, and add value to. For the DAOs themselves, despite their coordination engines, they are still lagging behind with obsolete tools and something like Discord servers or forums for members to coordinate tasks, as well as allocating voting power as well as reputation based on governance tokens that can be easily purchased in the open market. This exposes members of a community to a brand new class of governance problems. Things like civil attacks, where a passive member can easily create hundreds of accounts to manipulate the way funds and rewards are allocated to community members, or collusion, where members with a higher financial or social power can literally buy voting powers to manipulate and influence the outcome of a public proposal. Now, in order to function, a decentralized governance needs to upgrade, needs to replace legacy tools and make communities self-sustainable under a financial standpoint, as well as safer for the members themselves, in a way that reflects actual social dynamics as they are in the real world. This is the design thinking behind the Skill Wallet. Is an NFT ID that ties together the individual identity with the DAOs that individuals are going to join. This way, every DAO will have native roles within itself and will unlock a role-based native governance. The first thing that members do whenever they join a DAO is to choose their role. So either they want to contribute in a place or the other, as well as their commitment. Their commitment is limited as much as is their time in real life. And it will be limited the amount of communities that they can join. This way, they will have an actual portable reputation all across the communities that they can join, as well as in the Web3 as a whole. In fact, the main idea is that we have roles in every aspect of our daily society, from the working place to sport teams, or even in gaming and at the university. So we should have roles and clear tasks in Web3 communities and in the Metaverse as well. For communities, by integrating the Skill Wallet, they can unlock the nature of the blockchain itself. In fact, if it's transparent and all the events are public, with the Skill Wallet, these events, these 0x events, are actually associated to real names and real roles, so that they can track peer to smart contract interactions and see the true value that each individual member has and reward them accordingly. So for the demo, it takes only 2 steps to integrate the Skill Wallet as an authentication system. Here you can access just partners.skillwallet.id, accessing the partners agreement, and then straight away start to integrate by selecting the market that you want to join, either open source and DeFi, NFT, or DAOs directly. Customize your community, name, avatar, logo, and the description that makes it recognizable for your members. And most of all, most importantly, selecting the roles. Now, roles are fully customizable and will be the same ones that your community members will be able to join. Now, at this point, you import the contracts that you would like us to track, and you will receive your partner's key. Now, this key will be useful in this second step, where you can easily download the Skill Wallet web component library replace one line of code with the key that you've been assigned. And at this point, you already have a fully functional Web3 community and an role-based authentication system installed. So for the second demo, from a user perspective, I can show you how from our testing environment at demo.skillwallet.id, I can easily join the same community that we just created. I create my new account, I join with my browser wallet, and then I introduce myself as easy as a nickname and avatar in the Web2 space. Then I pick my role. In this case, I am quite a dedicated founder, so I will take founder and 10 out of 10 for my commitment level. And that's it. At this point, I can join the community, confirm the transaction, and I can claim my Skill Wallet ID just scanning the QR code with my Skill Wallet mobile app. And here I am. Now, I can even use it straight away on a distributed town where we already integrated the Skill Wallet. So you can see that is already cross-platform by default. If you also want to see it on the blockchain, just from Polygon scan on the Mumbai testnet, my NFT is already there, and as you can see, is from 3 minutes ago. So, getting back to us, this is our team. Milan and I have been working together for more than a year, focusing on decentralized infrastructure with governance and identities, as well as designing new financial primitives, both in quadratic funding and profit sharing. Personally, I'm the director of MRA Crypto Consulting, one of the leading governance and token engineering think tank in Web3. And Milena not only has been involved for many years, both in public and private blockchains, but she's a recognized expert in technologies like Chainlink and Covalent that are the backbone of Web3 as we know it today. Together with us, we have Evgeny and Mike. And together we've been, they help us to be a very successful team, both in the hacking space, where we have a quite high success rate, as well as in the open source space, where we contributed to tens of open source projects. We've been building our product to be a truly composable and complementary piece of the Web3 infrastructure, and we relied on partners that are leading in the industry, such as Covalent, Polygon, Textile, Chainlink. Also, we've been building as a true collective. So since day one, we've been engaged in uncountable conversations with some of the largest communities on Web3, from Gitcoin to NFT Hub, as well as pieces of infrastructure like Covalent or Valist. And the insights that we found out are that native governance is what truly makes a community decentralized. And this is empowered by on-chain analytics that are the foundations of it, as they allow communities to really track and measure their business metrics, as well as really recognizing and measuring the value that each individual members provide. Now, once these two instruments are in place, then and only then we can have profit sharing, where communities give back to their members, sharing the profit that they accumulated together. And this is reflected in our business model as well, being as a profit sharing marketplace as well, where we do not charge our partners for any of our services, but we have a 2% performance fee. We've been focusing the most on the curation markets, metaverses, and DAOs, as they are some of the fastest growing trends in the Web3 space, as well as being aligned with our vision. Now, we are just launching our pilot program on Polygon testnet or Mumbai with the first three integrating partners, as well as preparing for a campaign called the Polygon Pioneers that will declare our launch on the Polygon mainnet and allow the community to claim the very first 100 NFT IDs ever in existence. So, summarizing, we're just moving the first steps, and whether you are a DAO or you really believe in DAOs, or you know a DAO that can really benefit from the Skill Wallet, please reach out to us. We're building a more open space, and we will be happy to build and make and unlock the true potential of Web3 together. Thank you.
Hey, this is Manos, one of the co-founders of WeatherXM. WeatherXM is a community-powered weather network that rewards station owners and provides accurate weather services to Web3 enterprises. As a team, we have been delivering industrial IoT solutions to weather-sensitive companies for 5 years now. Our customers include the National Energy Transmission Operator in Greece, many energy utilities, Athens Airport, Halifax Port, motorways, telcos, and various industrial companies, as you can see in our portfolio. In most of our solutions, we needed accurate weather data. For example, we use weather as an input to our machine learning models to forecast energy. Now, most of the times we face the same problem. We couldn't find hyperlocal, accurate weather data for our customers' area. That's because there's not enough weather stations out there. Weather stations and networks of weather stations require substantial infrastructure investment. The hardware is expensive, it's complex to deploy and maintain, and that's why they're traditionally managed by government agencies. 2 years ago, we decided to attack this problem directly by building a better weather station and cloud software that is specifically designed for large-scale deployments. We went to China, Shenzhen, and started working on our own hardware. Today, we have created a family of low-cost, easy-to-deploy autonomous weather stations, but most importantly, we have created the world's first blockchain-ready weather hardware. Our station stores data directly to IPFS and acts as a weather oracle via the Chainlink and API 3 protocols. So we really directly connect weather-related smart contracts to the physical world. Depending on the use case and deployments requirements, we have different versions of our hardware using off-the-shelf equipment that is running our own Web3 firmware. And with this special hardware at the core, we're building a global Web3 weather network in 3 phases. In phase 1, we're focused on the supply side and tokenomics. So people who buy and deploy our weather stations are rewarded with a new ERC20 utility token every day as they share their weather data. They also get a hyperlocal accurate forecast that is optimized for their location using their data. With this approach, we generate new weather data directly to Web3 infrastructure instead of recycling the old same data that everybody is using today that are coming from untrustworthy sources. We follow the tokenomics of Helium, a proven approach to build global hardware communities at crazy speeds. Once we have streamlined the tokenomics, we are entering the agriculture market. Obviously, multiple industries can benefit from a global weather network, but we are starting with farmers as the people who will benefit the most. Farmers use weather data on a daily basis for their operations. Irrigation, fertilization, spraying, everything depends on weather conditions. So they really need a hyperlocal, accurate weather forecast, but also the historical conditions that exist in their crop. In addition, our tokenomics model minimizes the hardware investment, which was one of the biggest barriers for smallholder farmers to enter precision agriculture. Our solution is based on a powerful IoT platform, so we can very easily provide the conditions for B2B collaborations. So for example, we can provide our hardware weather stations to an agriculture company, and they can very easily integrate and enhance their vertical solution with our advanced weather analytics. But that's not our long-term goal. We want to create a Web3 global weather oracle network that combines precision agriculture and unlocks parametric weather crop insurance on-chain. The markets of phase 1 and 2 are surely big, but the weather crop industry is even larger. Billions are lost due to weather events every year in agriculture specifically. 50% of global food production comes from smallholder farmers, yet these farmers have no access to crop insurance. We believe insurance companies will move towards blockchain technology to address these challenges and expand their market. Blockchain is the most effective way to increase farmers' resilience to weather and climate change. But to materialize this vision, they will need hyperlocal weather data they can trust. The infrastructure for such data does not exist today. That's why we're building the Web3 weather infrastructure of the future. We already have traction in the B2B space. We have signed MOUs with the most active blockchain companies in the Oracle and insurance space, and we are exploring pilots with insurance service providers in Africa, We have partnered with Tahmo, the largest weather station network there. And we have also gained funding and support from the most active VCs in blockchain and IoT hardware. We are still early in this weather oracle market, but there is some competition already. Weather Web2 companies have announced similar services to ours with the intention to move towards the Web3 space. And existing Web3 companies, including our partners, could potentially evolve in the future to provide similar services to what we're building. However, we are the only company that dares to combine IoT hardware with Web3. We have different revenue streams per phase. Phase 1, we get revenue from hardware sales and use this to kickstart our tokenomics. In phase 2, we deliver weather advisory services to agriculture companies. And in phase 3, we explore B2B collaborations around crop insurance and charge Oracle service fees. We have a detailed map moving from one market to another for specific reasons. We are starting with crypto enthusiasts to get the tokenomics rolling, and then we're moving to weather enthusiasts to get valuable feedback for our weather services. We later enter the agriculture, dealing directly with farmers, and later with agri-tech companies and crop insurance companies. Founders and most of the team has been together for more than 5 years now in the weather industry. We have proven we can deliver demanding industrial B2B solutions with weather analytics. We are senior engineers and experts in IoT, machine learning, and hardware and software development. We recently made the switch to Web3 technologies, and we have what it takes to execute this very ambitious plan. To understand better what we're building, I will walk you through our user journey. A crypto enthusiast finds our website, realizes that he can earn some tokens by deploying a weather station, goes to our eShop, buys the urban version of our station, deploys the sensors outside his house, connects the weather data miner to his house Wi-Fi, and starts earning tokens as well as a better weather forecast tuned specifically for his location. Now, a farmer gets additional features as a professional user. He gets a different version of the hardware that is autonomous, designed for rural deployments, and gets access to the professional version of the mobile app and additional dashboards specific to his requirements. Our dashboards are very easy to make. We could give access to our customers and they can modify or build them themselves. And that's because all these years we have been using an IoT platform as the backend system for all the industrial IoT solutions that we have delivered. So in a collaboration with B2B agri-tech company, we have all the functionality required for them to either migrate to our platform or to easily integrate their vertical solution with our weather analytics. Among many features, we have created a unique rule engine that bridges the IoT world with the Web3 and crypto wallet transactions. So the vision of a parametric weather crop insurance combined with precision agriculture can become a reality using our infrastructure. We have also created a proof of concept insurance contract with our hardware chaining and Ethereum, but that's for phase 3. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to meet you in our Discord server.
Hey, I'm James from Autonomy Network, and Autonomy is decentralized automation, focusing on helping DEXs grow their volume. So my co-founder is Diego, and between us, we have a pretty unique intersection of experience from building DEXs, DEX bots, proof of stake consensus, building blockchains, machine learning, tracking and de-anonymization, and just generally being DeFi degens for the last few years. And the total headcount of the team is 7. So autonomy is inevitable. When you look at the evolution of applications in the blockchain space, each new wave of innovation requires an innovation in the underlying primitives and infrastructure that enable those things. So for example, DeFi Summer, DEX aggregators, yield farms, etc. These required AMMs like Uniswap and lending platforms like Aave in order to exist. And autonomy is enabling the next wave. Limit orders and stop losses, for example, on AMMs, even like recurring subscription payments or salary payments are not possible in DeFi natively. And these things like need to exist in order to onboard the next billion people into crypto. So people think that the biggest risk in crypto is the volatility, but actually the biggest risk is crypto requires 24/7. The problem is that humans aren't 24/7.
I don't know about you, but I certainly have gotten absolutely fucking wrecked in crypto before because you can't risk manage, can't set stop losses, etc. in DeFi. So users are forced to use centralized exchanges. And for dApps that want to add these kinds of features and protections, they're essentially forced to roll their own solution. Typically centralized, they have their own server that they're running bots on to do things for users. It's custom to them and costly. It takes months of lead dev time. Actually, SushiSwap just was developing limit orders for their own AMM and just suspended them recently on Polygon because of issues that they've been working on for months. So it's not composable. People can't build on top of each other and benefit from the network effects of DeFi. So autonomy is a tool for dApps like DEXs to integrate to add features like limits and stops. So for users, they can risk manage with the same user experience of the centralized exchange. They just click limit order, it works. They don't need to know anything about autonomy. For dApps, it's an off-the-shelf, easy to implement solution. They don't need to run their own bots or servers, and it's composable. It can be used to automate literally any on-chain action. So how it works is 3 simple steps. The user requests something like a limit order trade when the price is X. The condition becomes true at some point in the future. The market moves to price X. And a bot from a decentralized network of bots executes this request. So anyone can run one of these bots. The user pays a bounty to the bot as an incentive, but whichever bot executes it. And running a bot requires staking auto as a mini proof of stake algorithm to decide who can execute what. So a quick demo. This is an example integration in one of the DEXs that are integrating us. So we're just trading BNB for an illiquid token. As you see, we are putting the output, the minimum output, as slightly above the market, just so that it takes a small market movement in order for the condition to become true. And in real time, it'll add the open order to the open orders tab. So here behind the scenes, we just went and sold some of the token, just dumped it to dump the price, and so that the order executes. And you can see that the order is not in the open tab anymore. It's in the executed tab. And the funds are in our wallet. So it's a demo that just shows like how easy it is for the user. They don't need to know anything about autonomy. It just like works. So we're already live on ETH, BSC, and Polygon at the moment. Current partnerships in the works like ApeSwap, Liquidity, Itsoku, etc. And we're doing we have a pilot project right now with Sushi for doing automatic self-liquidations in their lending platform. And obviously we're supported by Consensus, but also have grants from Near Foundation and Polygon. If you add up the volume of the partnership, the DEXs we have partnerships with at the moment, it's over 50 mil daily. This is like volume we'll be able to tap into directly once these integrations go live. We're just waiting on an audit and actually to push these to their live mainnet UIs. But generally, spot volume is estimated to be about like roughly 50% of general volume, and therefore you can extrapolate that these DEXs should potentially double their volume, and we can also take on their volume therefore. So from doing user interviews, we learned that limit orders are nice to have, but loss protection is a real need. So we're the only decentralized automation solution offering stop losses out of the box. They're the only off-the-shelf solution in general. So we're basically guaranteed to mop up the long tail of DEXs because they don't have the capacity or resources to get themselves added to a network that requires permission or requires them to do something. They can just read our docs and do it. So therefore, the only fully composable solution. So we have some competitors in this space. Most are off-chain stuff that they're centralized. Well, 1inch doesn't use a centralized, it's a 0x protocol. But anyway, our closest competitor is probably Gelato. And there's a lot of minutiae here, but the TLDR summary of this is that we're the most frictionless solution. People don't need to ask us to get our permission to get some arbitrary use case added to the network to automate it. They can just read the docs and do it themselves. So, I mean, everyone here knows DeFi is a big market, 30 bill monthly volume just for the bottom 50% of DEXs alone on ETHBSC and Matic. And then obviously that balloons to over 700 bill when talking about all DEX volume and like liquidations, etc. So our strategy is to use DEXs as our beachhead. It's high value, high frequency use case, and essentially use that to grow as this market grows rapidly, essentially achieve prominence, deploy onto arbitrarily many other chains, looking at Avalanche and Solana at the moment, and expand into other verticals. And an example of another vertical is recurring payments. So we have a pilot project with Multisafe at the moment. They are basically a DAO Treasury Management tool used by Uniswap and Balancer, etc. And the pilot is for us to add automated payments, salary payments, so that because like right now they have to go in every 2 weeks or whatever, like to pay people. It's manual, but we can automate that. Another vertical that's not in DeFi and is a much more ambitious long-term play is an entirely new use case, an entirely new industry that we're creating. It's a bit of a rabbit hole, so the full extent of it is not in this presentation, but it's essentially, and it's really too much for one slide, but the summary is that you can not just automate one action, but you can make a thing autonomous, which is where the name autonomy comes from. So for example, and this is a really long-term play because it's in the Metaverse and NFT space. For example, with an NFT, you can use it across multiple games because obviously everyone can read the same blockchain. We can make an on-chain character, like they're fully independent. They can make their own transactions using autonomy. And therefore, for the first time ever, a non-playable character, an NPC, you can interact within one game and interact with in a different game, like the exact same character. We have a pilot project for that with Decentral Games right now, and a pilot project for an autonomous NFT with Avogotche for automatically managing an NFT's treasury, basically. It manages itself. So we have a token, or we'll have a token. Token launch is roughly in November. It's an actual utility token, Auto. It's not just like a governance token. It's needed in the platform in order to stake by the executing bots. And it's also used to pay execution fees if the user chooses, similar to Chainlink, they get a discount if they on the execution fee if they pay an our token. It's a fixed supply, and therefore the use cases for the token directly correlates to the use of autonomy itself. So we made this a lot less just because there was so much on it, simplified it a lot. But basically, we have a pretty extensive plan, not just for this year, but for the next couple of years. I'd say the main thing I'd highlight here is token launch in November, and there'll be lots of upcoming DEX integrations. That's the kind of main economic driver here. So yeah, that's autonomy, and thanks for listening.
Hi there, I'm Nagar, and we're currently building out the Converse page. Let's say whatever I present to you in the next 10 minutes, it's so amazing that you just can't contain yourself and want to shout it out to the world. How do you go about doing that? Well, you probably send out a tweet, or write a blog post about it, or send a Discord message. Whatever it is that you decide, you're still going to have to switch away from this video and move to a different interface. Let's hold that thought for a minute. Now, if you're walking down the road with your friend, just a stroll in the park, you can talk about anything that you want, just point towards things and just have a conversation about them. Is there any way of preserving that same human experience of creating, sharing, feeling right here on the internet? Can Web3 really be the human evolution in terms of just that natural way of having conversations and interactions online? How can we actually stitch together those same experiences throughout the internet, irrespective of whatever platform you're using? And if so, what can that one thread be? What is the one thing that is common to us humans, but also the internet? Well, it's just the ability to interact. And that's exactly what Convo makes accessible and human for the entire web. Convo enables any platform build an integrated social layer and build better experiences for their users. The problem that we're really trying to tackle is that we are constantly juggling multiple different social platforms, whether it might be Discord, Slack, Telegram, really trying to find out where that one message went, where that one message came from. Even personally, I find myself constantly pinging my friends saying, hey, did you check my Slack? Did you check my Discord? Our social lives are incredibly fragmented across all these ecosystems. And well, if I'm talking to you on Telegram, I really have to leave that rich conversation history behind whenever I'm switching interfaces. Just because you're on Discord and I'm on Telegram doesn't mean we can't talk to each other. It's as if platforms are defining the way we have our conversations instead of users. But platforms don't talk, people do. And the reality of the modern web is that no platform is really set up for that kind of movement. A very simple example for this can be, even though you can embed a tweet on a different website or a blog, you still have to go to Twitter, log in or sign up on Twitter to be able to interact with it. Not the best human experience. So how do you sort of solve this problem of siloed channels that blocks the flow of conversations and interactions? Well, you can create continuity by enabling composability of conversations across the web. And composability is something that Web3 is absolutely great at, and what Convo is really trying to bring to the masses. Convo offers all the tooling and infrastructure a platform could need to then integrate the social layer, but at the same time, supercharge all of those interactions powered by Web3. So what do I really mean by that? Well, the biggest use case that Convo unlocks for artists is, let's say, if you're on Rarible, the only reason you're going there is to either buy or sell an NFT. But the entire artist communities and all of the conversations are happening in Discord, Slack, or Telegram. Well, Convo allows you to anchor a conversation to an NFT, so that wherever that NFT is, conversations and communities can flow along with it. But the biggest thing for artists is that if they want to try out a new marketplace like Coinbase, they really have to leave all of their data, all of their followers behind to try out something new. And they have absolutely no distribution there. Well, Coinbase uses Convo to not just unbundle conversations from interfaces, but also identity and reputation, which just means that as soon as a user lands on Coinbase, they'll have all of the NFTs that they created there, conversations, communities, but also identity and reputation from other platforms right there on that platform, so that none of their users have to ever start from scratch. Similarly, Huddle is one of the other platforms that is hacking on top of Convo. Sort of like TikTok for Web3, the biggest use case for them is just the fact that every single data point is connected to your blockchain identity, which just means that creators can now totally own their audience they're creating and curating on their platform, and have all of the interactions in the communities that they build on Huddle be composable across the web. Because all of the videos are NFTs, well, Convo allows you to compose those same communities to whichever interface you go. So you could be having a conversation on a dApp like Convo or any other dApp and pick up that same conversation in a 3D metaverse like Decentraland and just show off your NFT in a 3D gallery and have people talk about it. But if you move from your computer and just have Telegram on your phone, you can pick up that same conversation right there from your application as if you were always there and have seamless interoperability between whichever platform or whichever application you choose to use. The way it really works is that I could just switch back to Convo's website, scroll down, and leave a message over here. Just got a conversation, hit send, and that's really all it takes to interact with the decentralized world. But at the same time, I can pick up this conversation in my Telegram app, going like, hey, if I moved away from my computer, I can just leave a message over there saying, hey, from Telegram, and just hit send. Convo automatically syncs up all of these conversations and interactions so that as soon as I'm back to that tab, I can pick up that same conversation right here from their interface and just have seamless interoperability between whichever application that I choose to decide. It really enables all of these platforms, articles, and movements to happen whichever way that you're trying to do it. and just have all of these features that I just talked about available open source with just a single line of code, plug it in your website, and you're good to go, and have zero configuration or setup to do in your application. But really, it gives you all the infrastructure and tooling you need, managing things like storage, indexing, identity and reputation, data monetization, community governance for you. So that you can really focus on building your own platform, have a custom UI, have a custom experience, using just a suite of tools that Convo provides, that wherever you are in the ecosystem, Convo can help you build better experiences for your users. If you're on Etherscan, you can just leave a comment over there saying, hey, this is a malicious address, don't your funds to this. And pull in those same conversations in your Web3 wallet. So the next time you're sending a transaction to that address, you can see the entire community talk about it and hopefully not send that transaction. In terms of who's building on Convo, there are roughly 600 plus visits to the website every single day, with over 120,000 data hits every single day. That's really the way we plan to monetize also in the near term, just having a SaaS-based offering where if you've got a generous free tier, but if you're scaling up, Convo will scale up with you and you're paying like $5 or $10 a month, depending upon your usage. There are 3+ platforms live with many more in the works. Working with these early platforms has been very fruitful in terms of understanding what kind of features do users require, having over 15+ integrations being simplified by literally just using Convo's APIs. Without further ado, let's just dive right into a quick demo. You've already seen how easy it is to interact with the decentralized world, but Convo becomes a command center for your entire digital presence. So just connect your blockchain wallet and you're good to go. Be able to view all your messages, conversations, independent of whatever website on, and just be able to view them all in a single place. Be able to manage things like identity and reputation. So if you're a member of a certain DAO and want to join an NFT Marketplace, or just an artist who wants to set up things like, hey, I only want people who are Bright ID verified to be able to talk to me. You can set up and establish trust in a decentralized manner, which is plugged into the entire ecosystem, use any application, and remove your trust and your reputation across all of these ecosystems. Because all of it is powered by Web3, you can even download your data, package it up into an ERC20, and expose it to the world's eye. Or just be able to just nuke it from every single interface and go anonymous within a click of a button. Getting started with Convo is incredibly simple. Just copy your API key and you're good to go. Be able to track usage, incredibly simple configuration for developers. And that's really it for a quick demo. Please follow us, continue us, and follow us along our journey on all our socials. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so before we move into our final closing remarks, we want you to hear from a couple of companies that we're really excited about. I think we're building really some amazing tech within the Web3 ecosystem. We've got Alex from Ballast, we've got the Mile team, and Torut from Powerloom to talk to you all about what they've been doing since leaving Tachyon. All right, let's bring up Alex from Ballast, please.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Alec from Ballast, and we build secure Web3 native software distribution infrastructure. We actually started our journey with Tachyon just a few months after our first line of code, and we were able to transition from a hackathon project to a venture-backed company. And the Tachyon staff and mentors gave us all the tools that we needed to develop our product strategy, structure our business model, and refine our position in the market. It was always a ton of pressure, but always applied in the exact right places. And besides, there's nothing quite like getting a group of solid founders and past founders to sprint together for 12 weeks. It creates this perfect environment to level up with each other and creates an energy that you just won't find in many places. Since leaving Tachyon, we've exceeded our fundraising goals, we've built an amazing cap table, hired the engineering talent that we've needed, built amazing relationships, and have been growing consistently since the program. We have a significant network and feel that we're well connected to those that we need to be connected to. We also just launched our full Docker registry support and the start of our Get on IPFS solution. So definitely come join us at Vallis.io, and best of luck to all the founders.
Hey, I'm Alex, co-founder of Mile. So we're building a content delivery network for Web3 that allows for fast content retrieval from both Filecoin and IPFS. So we started working on what became Mile at HackFS last year. And from there, it was our great pleasure to be a part of the first Filecoin Launchpad Accelerator. And we're really grateful for the Tachyon and Filecoin communities that really helped take our project from the kernel of an idea to a company. And last April, we raised our first round of funding from awesome investors in the ecosystem. And in tandem, we've been busy building out our protocol and network. And we're really excited to launch a preview of our browser client this week. And this is the first client of its kind, which allows for browser users to directly pay for and retrieve their content from Filecoin. So definitely make sure to head over to mile.network to check it out. Or if you're interested in running a node on our network, you can also register on the website. And lastly, we're always expanding and growing our team. So if you're interested in contributing, definitely reach out to us.
Hi, my name is Swaroop, and I'm one of the co-founders of Powerloom. We're grateful to Gabriel and its team at Tachyon for backing us at an idea stage. We truly accelerated from a napkin sketch to gaining traction and being investor ready by end of the program. So I would highly recommend Tachyon if you're building in the blockchain space, especially if you're getting started and don't have a strong network. So do apply, and good luck.
So, okay, once again, we want to thank all of you for your time. I promised a couple of special announcements. Before I get into those, you saw some amazing presentations and some amazing demos from just some incredible companies today. So get in touch with these teams that presented today. You can reach out to us. We're happy to introduce you one-on-one. You can also find these companies on filecoinlaunchpad.co.co to get in contact directly. We're extremely bullish on these teams and these founders as they step out into their next stages. I also want to thank the entire Tachyon staff for all their hard work, both during the program and putting on this amazing event. There is just so much that goes into executing a cohort and a demo day. And so I want to say thank you to all of you. And then finally, a big thank you to our amazing partners at Protocol Labs. We couldn't be more excited and more bullish on the future of Web3. So with that as kind of the tee up, we've got a couple of special announcements to close this out. First, we are open sourcing the Tachyon curriculum. So some of the things that I walked through earlier in my opening remarks around product, market fit, composability, community, and how we think about it, taking the best of Web 2 and layering in the magic of Web 3. We want to open up to the community. We want to inspire the aspiring future Web3 builders and founders. And if we're going to catalyze 1,000 startups over the next year and a half, we've got a lot of work to do. So we're going to be open sourcing that content. As a part of that, we're also going to be launching our public Discord. We want to get in touch with more people who want to work with startups, who want to be a part of the Tachyon community and ecosystem. And so be on the lookout for that. If you're not currently following us on Twitter, you can follow us at TachyonXL. And that's where we're going to make those announcements. We've got a couple of special things that we're working on. You can imagine what a Web3 native version of this might look like, with things like NFTs acting as access tokens, and then figuring out how we build a highly engaged community around the Tachyon ecosystem. So be on the lookout for that. So follow us on TachyonXL at Twitter. If you're looking to break into crypto Web3, or you're currently working in crypto and Web3 and you want to work really more closely with amazing startups, whether that be Tachyon, we are hiring for a number of key positions. Again, we need to scale up our team to support a ton more founders within this ecosystem. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to meet you. You can slide into my DMs on Twitter, Gabriel Anderso, no N, or just come and visit us, tachyon.xyz. We'll have a link to our job board. You can also see all the jobs that are available across our entire startup, all of our founders and alumni. Many of them are hiring. They are growing really fast. So if you're looking to work at the cutting edge of Web3, and you're looking to work either with startups or inside of a startup, we'd love to meet you. We'd love to talk to you and get to know you. Third and finally, Probably comes as no surprise. Applications for our winter 2021 cohort are now open. You can go to tachyon.xyz to apply. Applications are open until October 31st. So do not delay, dilly-dally. We'd love to meet you if you're currently building or looking to build in Web3. We'd love to meet you. We'd love meeting founders where they are, seeing what they've been building, seeing what they've been working on and tinkering on. And if you think that you are ready to really take your startup or your project to the next level, we'd love to meet you. We'd love to talk to you. Visit our website, tachyon.xyz, where you can apply, and we look forward to speaking with you. I think that is it. With that, I want to thank you all so much for your time. It truly, truly, truly takes a community to build and support founders at every stage of their business. And we're so excited that you could be a part of the Tachyon community. I love the Web3 ecosystem. We love how much this community gives and how much all of you give to to this amazing world that we're trying to build every single day. I'm truly inspired by all of you. So with that, until we meet again in real life, I will see you on the internets. I will see you on the Twitters and the Slacks and the Zooms. And thank you all very much. I hope this was a great day for you. Get in touch with companies. You can connect with them at filecoinlaunchpad.co. Again, it's filecoinlaunchpad.co, or visit tachyon.xyz. All right, folks, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.